Oh my god, already a goofball.
Um, what did I say? Oh, hello. My name is Blushy. Yes, I stream over on Twitch, and I am a human VTuber that's absolutely obsessed with bunnies. And yes, thank you, Mikey, so much for having me today.
Yes. Yes, yes, yeah. Uh-huh. What?
No.
Being drunk in that kind of heat, dude, nah, bro. I ain't. Not worth it. Not worth it. Hell no. He's probably gonna puke from the heat, dude. It's that bad. Why would you do that? Damn.
It's like torture.
Jesus Christ. Mhm. By the way, Renzi apparently can't hear Maki on Blushy's stream. Just a heads up. Not sure what's happening there.
Really?
Everyone on my stream, everyone can hear. Everyone can be heard here. I'm not sure on the other side though.
Let me see.
Just to make sure. Yeah. Just double check. Regarding that, by the way, Rice Crack, while Blushy's taking it out, the Rice Cracker also said, also iced coffee is better.
Wait. I hear you.
How long has this been going on?
What's going
My
on?
OBS wasn't picking me up. No!
Oh my god, GG!
How long has this been going on?
Holy shit, this man is cooking himself.
No!
Oh, tea time host, by the way.
God damn it. Not again.
Oh boy.
Not again. Why? Why? YouTube, what? OBS, why? It was working earlier. Why? Why? See, this is what I'm afraid of. The mic. That's the fear. Anyway, so before I was so rudely destroyed by OBS, good evening and welcome to Tea Time of Fear, the stream podcast with hot takes, warm tea, and a touch of life's bitter aftertaste. And good God, finally people can hear me. That's the bitter aftertaste. Hey, next,
The bitter taste.
God damn it. Anyway. Anyone else got a bit of small talk about what's been happening on your end, like IRL or stream fights?
So for me, I'm currently going through my Donathon series, and it's been a busy week for me. I like pretty much the only time I actually get to have a break is today, this Thursday, which is, if you guys don't know, in the Philippines it's already Thursday instead of Wednesday. So, and that's the only time I could actually have a break. Every single day from this day on, I'm actually having a live stream at the moment. So there's that. But I'm very happy that the people around that I've been watching have been very supportive. I'm already done with part 1, and we have already accumulated about $900 or $850, I believe.
Wow.
Nice.
So nice.
Hell yeah.
So shout out to them, man. Good shit.
No,
All
Jack,
right.
donate more. Brother needs
For real.
Daddy needs a new PC.
True, man. If guys, like I said, I promise you, this not only help for my family, but this also will help me be able to get a brand new PC, so you guys will see better stuff in the future.
Exactly. Chat, if you donate to Dino right now, you guys will be able to see him fight Melania and rage so hard that the earth will quake. That's the real reason. It'll
You
be
see how
fun.
good that offer sounds?
Exactly.
Even I, who sounds like torture, actually seems like worth it for you guys. What do you mean?
Right. See, you can get all that for only $1,000 per minute. I'm kidding.
$1,000 from it. God damn, we're a millionaire. All right.
How about you,
Anyways.
Blue? What's been going on your end so
Hmm.
far?
I wouldn't say much. Honestly, stream wise, not much. Yesterday I went to the hospital yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah, I was dealing with some head pain, got that checked out, did some tests and everything came back just fine. So I'm very glad that that was what happened.
Hmm.
And yeah, I've been given some medicine for the head pain. Hopefully that ends up working, but other than that, nothing.
Huh.
Mm,
Okay.
gotcha.
Mhm.
I gotcha. Well,
Hey,
well.
nothing bad about mundane life.
Exactly. Nothing
Mhm.
too bad about a Monday life. I
Very
mean,
chill right now.
sometimes way too much of an exciting life can be horrible for someone. Me.
Introverts would like to have a question on that one.
Yes, introverts. Totally. Alright. Now that slight small talk is on the way. Well, not on the way. Done. Right? Let's start off with the first question of the night. What was the weirdest fear you had as a child? The weirdest fear.
Weirdest fear. Ooh. Oh God. You know what, Blushy, you go first. My brain is not calculating this right.
I think I would say freeways. Highways. I hated those as a child. Those were so scary to me. I think that kind of helped develop my fear of heights. But I always just hated going on the freeway. I don't know why. I always knew the path. Whenever we were in the car, I always knew the path to the freeway. I hated it. It was so bad for me. Oh my gosh.
What? Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, so every time you go in a freeway, you become afraid?
Not anymore. This is it. It used to be a fear for me, especially when I was a kid. I'm not scared of freeways anymore, but yeah, when I was a kid, definitely.
Okay. Any idea why? Like apart from
No clue.
What?
Maybe it was the heights aspect of it, I guess. But other than that, I have no
Huh.
clue.
I would have
Huh.
thought that you just saw the pavement and you were like, oh god, oh no, the
No.
pavement, cement, no,
Imagine.
roads. All right, Dino.
Okay, so mine probably isn't so weird because I'm gonna be real with you guys. When I was a kid, the things that I went through is a bit okay. This is gonna go ham here. All right, so
Mhm.
of all the things I'm actually afraid of, this one's pretty obvious. It's when the house is dark. Everything when the lights are out, it's very scary for me. It was even scarier than the critters that I usually get encountered with. Why I say critters? Basically, when I was a kid back in my childhood, we were in an old home, like my grandma's home, and so it was made out of like it was like old wood, crappy stuff. Things are broken, and there's actual in like the dirt part underground of the house is filled with critters that are living. So we could get centipedes, cockroaches, rats, anything with a bunch. Those I could get surprised, sure, but not too afraid when I was a kid. But surprisingly, out of all the things that make me afraid the most, it's dark. You'd think a centipede charging into me would be something that I would get a jump scared by.
Wait,
but I
into you? Wait a minute.
because for context, we had a neighboring centipede, a pretty decently sized one, back in our bathroom who stays around there. He vibes a bit sometimes. I'm not even joking, by the way. He usually crosses around the broke debris in the parts of the bathroom nearby the door, I believe.
Oh hell no.
And we usually meet him there. It's a bit of a surprise sometimes, but yeah, no biggie, I guess. At
But,
least when I was a kid, I wasn't that afraid. Yes, I get spooked, yes, but in comparison to being in the dark, nah. Yeah, more afraid of the fact that that I'm in the dark because I remember most nightmares I get when I was a kid
yeah.
were all about the dark. When I see, let's say when I got into a dream, I wake up in the dream, that is, not in real life. I go around, notice the place is lighted up, and then there is that one corridor that was dark as fuck, and I
Yeah.
just see two eyes at the very
Yes.
end.
The old Filipino scary tales. There's just gonna be two eyes staring at you in the darkness. Yes, yes, yes.
The moment
culture on
the
that.
moment I step in, I get consumed by the darkness and I wake up.
God damn. Well,
So scary.
wait, speaking of that, right? Y'all have you I don't know if y'all have experiences, right? But as a kid, right? As I was also pretty scared of the dark as a kid because I was always told that, oh, if you don't sleep early and wake up early in the morning, sometime at some random point at night, someone's gonna take your feet off or something. I don't know. So it was always about the feet. I don't know why. So my fear was, right, every time the lights started closing and my old house, right, my old house in Manila, we had a two-story house. It was short, very very small, right? So every time we were sleeping upstairs and everything else was downstairs. So when the lights went out, I was usually always downstairs because I was watching TV, and I always had to go back up when it got really really late because my favorite show was Power Rangers, I won't lie, and a bit of Powerpuff Girls. Don't judge me. Anyway, so whenever it got dark, right, little Maki would scurry onto the stairs and he would look up, measure the distance with his eyes, slowly but surely count the stairs one by one, and just very very much think how much time would it take me to get back up there without making much noise. So a little kid, y'all know how a little kid's mind usually goes, right? They usually think that they're very sneaky, and any sound that doesn't go out of their ears just immediately disappears, right? No one else can hear it but them. So little Maki was just every time he would literally crouch down in a runner's head start, right, and bolt his stairs, bolt it all the way up, and every single time you would hear like every single time, each step. And my mother would always be like worried. What the hell is happening? Why are you going upstairs? Mom, I don't want my feet to get taken off. Help me. And that was the fear that little Maki experienced as a child.
Damn. Okay.
One hell of a fear. So I don't know if you guys experienced that, but the main point of that story, right, is every time you go up the stairs, right, there's just that tingling feeling that someone's gonna reach out from below you and just grab your feet, right? So just you bolt your way up.
Now that I think about it, I could see that. Yeah, actually, I understand your point. Yeah. I'm getting it. I'm getting it now. Yeah.
How about you, Blue? You experienced that before?
I wouldn't say grab my feet, but I don't know. Like, I would imagine, like, I don't know, shadowy creatures behind me in the dark, especially when I go downstairs by myself in the dark. That's something that I'd kind of imagine, and then I'd have to bolt up the stairs because I would get too scared.
So regarding the stairs that I'm probably, when I was a kid especially, that I was most afraid of are, those stairs that, how do I describe this? It's just a wooden plank. That's the stair part, and then there's a big ass hole in each of them, each gap.
Yeah,
So when
dude.
you're climbing that shit up, dude, it's a whole different level of like, what
Those are
the
scary.
hell?
Dude, funny story, right? Funny story. One of the times when I was bolting my way up, my pinky toe got caught on that little tiny ledge on that goddamn hole, and it got dislocated. And when I went up, I didn't want to wake up my mother, obviously, because you know how Asian parents are when you wake them up in the middle of the night and tomorrow's a Monday morning, right? They get very, very mad. So at night, I fell asleep crying, just holding my pinky toe like, this is because of the goddamn demonios. I hate them.
The demons. They caught me.
The toe demons caught me. God damn it. Oh my god. How do you guys avoid that have you guys avoided that every single time?
Stubbing my toe has been a thing in my experience, but that kind of one, I'm not sure.
Yeah, right.
Good.
Never to that extent.
Yep, same here.
Little Maki was very paranoid. Speaking of nightmares that Dino mentioned earlier, right? I actually made a question about that, right? Have you had any nightmares or bad dreams recently that you can remember? Or pretty much just any bad dream that you can remember by far?
Okay. I guess I could go first. Okay. This one, I'm gonna try to see if I can describe it as much as I could. So, I've already talked about the darkness nightmare. Let's talk about the other nightmare I had before. This one, I can still somewhat remember clearly. So, so I was in my house. This is a dream now. So I was in my home. And then shit just transformed so fast. Like things were just like going through. It's like a slide by slide. I get into like see the interactions of my brother and his friend, into some people I played with before as a kid.
Yeah.
And then at some point at the end of the tunnel, for some odd reason, I'm on my own. And then guess what? That thing I saw on the other side, my mother leaving me with a motorcycle.
What?
What the fuck? And then the next thing I know, I realized I was crying and trying to go, Mama, Mama. I woke up because my mother actually he's hearing me. Because the thing is, I had sleep paralysis when I was trying to wake up. I couldn't fucking move. So my mother, thankfully I was with her during that time, IRL. He hugged me, and then I actually got up from the paralysis and slept peacefully afterwards. That was quite the experience.
I'm sorry, but in the middle of that, when you said that the dream was going slide by slide, I was just imagining like little Dino sitting down in some random dark corner of the house. Just there's a massive screen in front of him, and it was just a goddamn Google slideshow every single time.
No. It was more like the entire house was transforming and then turning it into like a one by like, how do I? It's so hard to the dream was so weird, but like it basically how do I say this? It trailed through. I forgot how to say this, but like it kind of like cycled through them while the house was like fucking morphing, going through all the shit. And then at the end, again, like at the end, when I finally went outside, I was on my own, and then my mother just bye with a motorcycle. No, not my own. I was crying my ass off.
Just bye, have a good time.
Dude, that was quite the nightmare. No, it was weird, but it was definitely a nightmare for sure.
I just imagine your mother in that dream, like hearing you screaming around. Your mother wakes up, right? Was she in a motorcycle in that, or a car?
In the dream?
Yeah, in the dream.
Motorcycle.
Yeah, even better. Because I just imagine, right? Your mother was sleeping, dead asleep at night, and she just started hearing you screaming and in her rage, she just goes to your room, looks at you for just a moment, and just goes, nah, screw this. I'm getting on my motorcycle. I gotta go. I gotta get to work. You're on your own, man.
Wow.
He'll wake up eventually. You got it. It'll buff out.
Lol.
You got that.
Fortunately, my mom is actually very nice to us, so
W
very pub.
mans. What
Yes,
about
yes,
you,
yes.
Blue?
I think for me, something I usually, if I ever have a nightmare, it's for some reason about natural disasters. I don't know why. I really don't. But this time around, it happened, I would say a couple weeks ago. Um, I was dreaming of a fire, a house fire.
Uh-huh.
And you know those dreams where you're running, but you're not running, like you're
Yeah.
walking?
Yeah.
That was happening to me. And
Oh, those are
it
fucked
was
up.
so, yeah, it was terrible. I wasn't able to get out. And then somehow, some way, I don't know why this happens. My dream, it I transferred to Fortnite. I always dream
What?
about Fortnite. I don't know why. So I was in there playing with the people that I usually play, trying to get away from some people. But yeah, it's weird. I don't know why I do that. I'm always thinking about Fortnite. Maybe it's a coping mechanism.
There's like a house fire, right? Let me fully digest this. There's a house fire, right? There's a house fire. I'm assuming in that house fire, people are screaming around, trying to call the firefighters, you
Right.
know. And at some point, just someone snaps their fingers like Thanos snap, and you just end up in Fortnite. What the hell is going on?
But the thing is, I was locked in though. As soon as we transferred there, I was locked in.
Oh hell no! Bro is ready. What the hell? So there was a house fire. You went into Fortnite, immediately locked in. Did you at least get Victory Royale?
No, I woke up and we died.
Ah.
Oh,
Oh god damn.
Damn, that's not a good ending, huh?
That's not good.
Oh,
Oh my god. On my end though, I don't really have any like major nightmares anymore. Like when you, as a person who barely gets to sleep like 5 hours anymore, right? Because I don't know about your schedule. Is mine goes where I usually wake up at around 7 a.m. Practice vocals from 7 to 8 a.m. Cook some food or take a bath, walk the dog, and do my other house chores up until around 5 p.m. give or take. After a bit of writing and yada yada, having a bit of fun with friends and Val, and that's when I start streaming and stuff, preparing for a stream. And around the time I need to go, which is around 7 p.m. I gotta get to work. I go back at around 10 p.m. give or take, or not 9 or 10 p.m. And that is when I start streaming, go to sleep at around 3, and it all repeats again and again. So as a person who has that kind of schedule, I don't really have a lot of dreams. I don't know why. The only major dream that I actually remember, right, is at one point I was at the cafe, and I don't know if this was based on a real thing that I've experienced before in the cafe, because I've worked in 2 different cafes. One of them was okay, I won't lie, it was decent. The other was the one I'm currently working at now. It's great. It's very cold, very clean, and I love the scented smell. And
Nice.
I don't know why, but in that dream, in that nightmare, I woke up at the end of it, obviously. But how it started was I went to work. I started the closing shift, and I served a bunch of customers. There was a long line coming in, and whatchamacallit, I had to serve someone a cappuccino, a very simple one, a cappuccino with some milk. So I went to the little bar thing, and y'all know how cafes have those like steamer things, right?
mhm.
The way that the steamer works is I'm a bit tall. Okay, I'm a bit tall for the counter, so the steamer is around neck height for me. So with the steamer being that low, I was steaming the beans and stuff, and the steamer like hose thing, I don't know if all steamers have that, but the one that we use is a very strong steamer, and it has like a little like whatchamacallit, stainless steel hose, bendable one obviously, that you can use to steam all around, yada yada. And For some reason, some whack job of a guy who used the steamer previously left it on very, very high power when I usually just, put it on medium or low power so that I don't lose control. So as a person who was barely awake at that time, keep in mind I'm still dreaming, I lost control of the steamer, and the steamer went way, way down. And around that time, only after I woke up did I realize that, holy shit, the steamer cooked my balls. The steamer cooked my balls, man. That's how I woke up.
Your testicles cooked you.
I'm cooked, man. There ain't no other generations of Makino
What?
family.
Damn, bro.
The bloodline ends with me. I don't know why that was a dream, but I remember it so vividly. Because it only happened like a couple days ago.
Turn. That turn was so weird. What? I would not have expected that.
That's what I call a sick burn.
God. Yo.
Have
Yo,
you
that
guys
just
ever
sounds-
had those types of dreams? Like, it was so weird that you had to enact it in real life at some point.
I don't
wouldn't
remember
say I
anymore.
have.
I don't think so.
No one,
I'm not
no one's
gonna
got
lie.
any, like dreams like that. Only me.
No.
God damn it!
Yeah, bro. Good luck, dude.
Why? Why no one can relate to having their balls seen, huh? Why?
What the-
Well,
I think that's on you, bud.
God damn it! Anyone else working at a cafe and in one chat? Come on.
Lol.
Surely someone's gotten like some part of them steamed before because they lost control of the steamer. Come on. No
Yeah.
way. Well, while we're at that, right after the whatchamacallit, the first question is what fear did you have as a child that you still have now?
A fear that I have as a child and still have now. Oh, I know. Easily. Oh, fucking easy answer. Easy fucking answer.
Oh, let's hear it.
Cockroach.
ooh, that's a good one.
That's
Really?
It's as easy as it can get. Literally, ever since childhood, it's something that because so back in I'll just give the story a heads up. Back in my childhood days, like I said, we were living in a whole ass home and it was not good. It was filled with critters. But the most common one, either rats or cockroaches.
Huh.
And unfortunately, the latter is more often that happens.
Ah.
So during I'd say 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. go outside. The problem is outside is like a front yard of us. Like basically our home has a door here, right? And then out just before our outside bit, there's like a front yard to where there's a gate that you have to go through to go outside of the street.
Mhm.
So in the between those areas, there's a sewer that's connected over there,
Mhm.
and it's open,
Oh no.
which is a home of hundreds or dozens of cockroaches.
Oh no.
So every night
Ugh.
you're gonna get invaded. We're gonna get invaded if you go outside, brave enough as you are. There's gonna be multiple cockroaches with a good chance one of them can fly.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
So sometimes I go outside. First things first, I get face flatted by a fucking cockroach.
Oh.
So that was not a good start.
Ew. Oh
Okay.
no.
And it's ever since cockroaches existed in our lifetime. Ever since I was a fucking baby, for God's sakes.
Mhm.
Yeah, cockroaches has been my arch nemesis for a while now, even today. I still get jump scared by flying cockroaches, or I still get afraid by a random ass black thing coming closer and closer.
Valid,
Mr.
honestly.
Very valid.
Yeah. Oh, since we're on the topic of cockroaches, let me tell you guys a messed up story, okay?
Uh-huh.
About on my mother's end.
Mhm.
When I this was the time when I haven't been born yet. I don't even think I was a sperm at the time.
Oh.
So
Okay.
I was long gone. It was during the younger days of my mom, but she was already living in the old house
Mhm.
during a time when there was like no lights. Usually we would have lights outside, like like I said, in between the door and the gate. There's like a place there, yeah, right.
Yeah.
And it was super dark, and my mother was drinking a glass of Coke.
Mhm.
Okay. So during that time, she was drinking a glass of Coke, and she actually it was super dark. Okay, just heads up, super dark, no lights. So she was just there vibing, drinking a Coke in a glass. After she drank, or at least when she was about to drink, I believe it's either she drank a bit or about to drink. She was wondering, why did it taste like cockroach?
Oh no!
How did you know what that tastes like?
Oh yeah.
Or
Why,
what
how
it-
would you know how it tastes like?
My mother had a bit of a past, to say the least.
Oh
This one-
no!
So this one, okay, in this case, you already know where this is going once you already know what I'm talking about. So it was a bit of a
Oh.
questionable taste. Didn't felt like Coke. Open up the lights, a cockroach was having a swim.
Oh
Ew.
no!
Ew.
Why?
Ew.
Needless to say, she nearly puked.
Oh no! The only thing, the worst thing I had was like a fly flying into my Mountain Dew. That is worse. Oh hell no!
Ew.
How did it even get in there?
It's a flying cockroach.
Fair enough, but then again, as some Filipinos say, you can't be healthy without a bit of germs.
Oh man, yeah, it was it was fun, I guess you could say. for
That's
her.
fun, dude. It's time to burn down the whole village. That is sacrilege. No one messes up a woman's coke. No.
It was quite the Coke for sure.
It adds a bit of flavor, doesn't it? A little kick.
Mhm. It
Uh,
does add a bit of a kick. It does.
Oh no. What about you, Blue? Any fears you had as a child that you still have now?
Yeah, I think my first answer is always going to be clowns, and not like the scary clowns. I mean like the happy clowns. I hate them.
You don't like clowns
Something
being
about
happy?
them being, yeah, no. I can actually tolerate scary clowns more than I can the happy ones,
What the hell?
because it's like they're too jolly. It's too scary. I hate them.
What, you hate smiling faces?
Yeah, 100%.
Why?
No, but I remember in school, I think that this is one of the reasons why I really hate clowns. But I've always hated clowns, honestly. But I specifically remember in school, it was like back in like 2016, I'd say. Ooh, um, voice crack.
Continue.
Anyway,
It's okay.
I
It's
would say
okay.
in 2016. You know the killer clown? What was it? Like the killer clown trend, where
Yeah.
you'd see like clowns on the street and they'd like run towards you, and all that. That was something that happened. And that scarred me. Like I would be asked if I could
Oof.
be taken out of school, because I could not. And we would see like threats too, saying like there would be clowns coming to specific schools. And I remember seeing that my school was one that was, listed. Nope, I wanted to get out of there immediately. I could not handle it. I hate
Oof.
clowns so much. It was so scary.
Why would a school
I don't
allow
know.
that?
I don't know. I really don't. No, I think it was more like it was an account that was made by somebody else. Maybe it was a student in the school pranking. I don't know. But they had listed
What
our
a
school.
prank.
What
I
the
know.
hell? Dude, send
Messed
them to
up.
jail. Send them to juvenile jail.
Right.
Ain't nobody's supposed to be doing that in a school. It is a learning master. Well, it's not a masterpiece considering you know how educational systems are. But send them to jail. Whoever that kid was, send them to jail. Throw the book at him. Yeah, no, I really hope that no one comes in running, like at me in the middle of the night, because I don't know if people know this much about me, right? But I'm pretty sure I made it obvious in my community at some point that I am very much military trained. right? So my instincts always kick in. If there is danger, I will beat it, and I will bring it to the police station. And I do not care who it is. You are a danger to me. I just hope no one does that to me at some point, because it won't be a fun experience for any of us. Not very good. But a fear on like a child's fear on my end would probably, I won't lie, it's the stairs thing again.
Oh,
It's the stairs thing again.
man has come back to hell.
It's always just stairs
The
thing.
drama.
Like everything else I can handle, right? Because I can actually fight for myself. But when it comes to stairs, like Po from Kung Fu Panda, that is my natural enemy.
Feels different, doesn't it?
It is very different. My feet are my most vulnerable parts, okay? I use them for running. Oh god. Anyway. Speaking of dreams earlier though, what is the weirdest dream you can remember from any point in your life? Weirdest dream.
Weirdest dream? Okay.
Mhm.
Oh man, the last story I told was cutting it close. I'm not gonna lie. Shit. Blushy, you may go first.
Let's see. Weirdest dream. I would say, honestly, those Fortnite dreams are really weird. That's like a continuation. I don't know. I'm always ending my dreams or starting off my dreams in Fortnite.
What?
But
There's a
like
part
not
two?
even like playing it. Yeah, it's multiple.
What
It's
the hell?
reoccurring. I don't know. I think it's because I usually play before I sleep with the people that I play with. So I
Oh.
guess maybe that's the last thing on my mind before I sleep. But I'm just, and it's not even like I'm playing Fortnite. No, it's like I'm in it. I'm in Fortnite.
You're
Oh.
It's weird.
Fortnite.
Yeah, it's like a third person type of experience. At the same time, it's not like sometimes I'll see not myself. I don't know how. Like, have you ever had dreams where you can see yourself, but it's not yourself?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's basically how it is. It switches for me.
Oh.
Sometimes it's third person, sometimes it's not. But it's weird.
That is
I would
so interesting. Like, why specifically Fortnite though?
Don't know. I guess I'm always thinking about it. I don't know. Maybe.
I think you've been playing way
I
too
love
much Fortnite,
Fortnite.
lady. Oh god. Wait, someone in chat said, I remember when I was a kid, I got a needle in my teeth and I screamed like William Afton getting his spring trap. All the kids were gone because of what the hell?
Oh my gosh.
That's from FNAF, probably. Yeah.
How'd you get a needle in your teeth though?
What, were you picking your teeth with a needle? Why would you pick your teeth with a needle? Toothpicks are a thing, my guy. Goddamn. But for me though, the weirdest dream that I can remember, was I guess the weirdest dream I can remember was the one I had like last week. I still remember it vividly somehow. Usually when I dream, I'm like normal, normal height. I usually, do something mundane. Usually when I dream, right, it's mainly like about something mundane that somehow comes through in the future. I don't know how. But this time, this one dream, right? I was very panicked in this dream. Main reason being, right? I wake up in said dream. I go to the bathroom. I take a bath. I look at the mirror, right? And I notice one simple thing. I'm shorter than I usually am. And that's when I panic. I lost my height. I lost my height. No offense to the short people out there, but God, I lost my height. I am above average. I don't want to be losing my height.
Oh, wow.
Still the thing I got.
Oh my god.
Like, why my dreams gotta take my height, man? Come on, it's the only thing I got left. I'm already stressed enough with deadlines and other stuff, but guys, still, dreams. Why? But still, though, the Fortnite dream is very much weirder in all of that.
The Fortnite ones, yeah, no, I have to agree on the Fortnite ones.
That takes the cake.
Oh, I don't know how you keep cooking with the Fortnite ones.
I don't know either.
Like, did you at least win in one of them?
No, I never win.
Oh,
You never win.
No, I always either you die or my dream ends, or like I wake up before I can even.
oh god
Win.
damn it. What about this one though? What about this one? Do you know anyone with a strange fear? Like, or do you have one yourself? Like, anyone with a strange fear?
Anyone with a strange fear? I don't think I ask enough people for that one, Chief.
What about yourself? Like, do you have like, what is your strangest fear?
Strangest fear?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would be a dream. Strangest fear. Wait, wasn't this already a topic beforehand?
No, that was the strangest dream.
Ah, strangest dream.
This
A
one is the strangest fear.
Strangest fear?
I think I.
Ah, I'm trying to think. It could be a strange fear that I have.
What about you, Blue? Anything yet?
I think I'm gonna say dust. I have a fear
Dust?
of dust. Yeah, like especially like the clumps of dust.
What,
It's
like
more
a-
like it disgusts me more than anything.
Oh.
But yeah,
Is that a
Sorry.
I think,
phobia?
like, yeah, maybe.
Wait, hold on.
Wait.
Let me search this up. Is there a dustophobia or something?
Bro, someone just said during your story, Maki, someone said 4'3" moment.
Oh hell no! Oh wait, no,
Become
in that dream I
4'3".
was less than 4 foot. I was like 3 foot or something. I don't know, man. I could barely
man
even
was
reach
dwarf.
a sink.
It was a dwarf. Holy.
Yeah. Fear of dust. Amathophobia. Fear of dust.
Okay.
What? This is a thing.
It's a damn.
Wait, I thought you said. Wait, what's it called?
Amathophobia.
The more you know, I guess.
Amathophobia. I used to purposely say that I was allergic to dust just so I could like get out of having to be near it. I hated it so much.
Oh wait, I think this phobia is perfect for you. Hold on. Definition: fear of dust. The root word for amathophobia is amathos, Greek for sand. Amathophobes have a low tolerance for dust bunny, a creature whose name defined by Merriam-Webster simply as an aggregate of dust. So dust bunnies. How would you think about that one?
There's actually those things in The Sims 4 dust bunnies, but those are cute. Except for like the dust that they like sprinkle around themselves. That's what's nasty.
Isn't that just a chinchilla?
No,
What?
it's like an actual dust bunny, like a bunny made of dust.
What?
And like, yeah,
That's a thing.
yeah.
Hold on, we gotta look this up. I wanna look this up. Wait, Sims Dust Bunny. What this look like? Hold on. What
It
this
makes
look?
like noises and everything.
Oh, looks like a little crocheted little bunny.
Mhm.
Huh?
Eh, damn, bro.
That's interesting. What about you, Dana?
Strange fear. Strangest fear. What do I have a strange fear of? Okay, you know what? This might be a a cliche one, but it's definitely up there for me. Needles.
You and Renzi said the exact same thing. But continue.
Yeah, so how can I explain this?
Mhm.
Essentially, how do I forgot. But so basically, when I was a kid, I was already I'm gonna get my first like vaccine or some shit like that, or maybe
Mhm.
I've gotten it before, but like at some point I got another vaccine or something like that, and I was afraid, dude. I could not think of anything but the needle stabbing me right beside my arm. Ugh. It was in my mind. So basically, my mother had to, or I think someone or my mother basically kind of gave me like a calm down, you know. Yeah.
Mhm.
It'll be okay. It'll be okay. It'll be a quick one.
A quick one, yes. A quick one.
Dude, the stabbing still jump scares me though. It hurts, man.
Until it's a skin test. That one is not quick. It is not a
Oh.
quick.
Wait,
No,
what's that?
a skin test.
It's
Yeah, what's that?
It's basically where the either the nurse or the doctor himself takes a little sample of your skin. I will say, as a person who's experienced that before, and as a person who is in medicine, it hurts. It is a very slow and painful process. It's not very long. It barely takes like 10 seconds, but it still hurts like hell. Because dude, every time you experience that pinprick of pain, right? You will want to wait for the goddamn sweet release of that needle coming out of your skin, because it is just that painful. It won't go in, it'll stay in your skin. The needle stays in your skin for a while. They suck you out like the small parts of your what is the innermost layer of the which dermis is that? The innermost layer of the skin. Which of the three dermises is that? Innermost layer of skin. Hold on, we gotta do this right. The podermis, right? The podermis, right? They the main reason why people would take layers of your skin away is if you have like an allergic reaction to something, or like a skin disease, so that people can diagnose what you are. So it is just there. It hurts. They take the podermis or the middle one, and I will not want to experience that ever again, because good god, I cannot express enough how horrible it is. That's why
It sounds
whenever
like a painful process.
yeah, exactly, dude, every time I experience a skin rash or an irritation, I just hide away in some random corner of the house, like, please, I don't want to go to the doctor, please, I don't want to go, please, I'd rather have 5 gallons of my blood taken away than skin, please. Because
that. God, that must have sting like ass. Holy shit.
yeah, no, it's one of the strangest fears that I have as well, actually, because when I was a child, right, I had UTI for the first time, and I had to be rushed to ER, and you know how many nurses it took for them to put in the dextrose on me, like the IV drip?
3.
More.
Uh-huh.
What more?
Yeah,
Wait,
more.
what?
5.
More.
Fucky, that's okay. 6.
9
We going.
nurses.
We
9 nurses it took so that I could finally calm down. They were strapped. They were basically holding me down to finally get that needle in, just
My
for that one
God.
needle to get in. Because I was that afraid of needles, man. Because the first time I've ever experienced like having a needle inside me, the nurse was I hope that the nurse was only in training, because if that is a licensed nurse, I do not know if their career is gonna be that long. Because dude, I think the needle went so far in that it reached bone, because I could not bend my elbow very well by the end of that session. That
Oh.
was how bad that nurse
Oh.
was.
Oh god.
And dude, it was bruising bad. The whole entire, like, a whole 2-inch in diameter part of my skin was just purple for an entire week.
Ah, damn, bro.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Ooh, my
Ever
skin
since-
scrolled a bit on me.
Ever since then, I did not like needles anymore, man. Gladly though, now I don't have any more fear of, needles, because
You're a brave man, Maki.
I'm a brave man, and I'm also a very sturdy man, because it took 9 nurses. Good God. And I say that is an achievement. I wear that with pride. Took 9 nurses to hold me down. What about this, though? Props to me. What do you mean, Chad? What about this, though? Yeah, a slightly off-topic question, right? What do you think about reality TV shows where people face their fears for money, right? What do y'all think about that?
They face their fears for money?
Yeah, well, like, let's say people face clowns. Like, they conquer their fears so that they can get money at the end. Those kinds of reality shows.
I've never
American
been
type
into
shit.
them, so I kind of forgot as a whole. To be honest, I don't know what to say. How about you, Blushy?
I would honestly like I could watch, sure, but I would never myself go on one of those shows ever.
Yeah, no, neither.
Nothing's worth that. Not
Oh,
even
if I was
money.
in the show, I just nah. I feel like if ever, it would be a challenge in my brain, but at the same time, I just don't see it. I
Yeah.
don't see it myself actually completing it.
Yeah, no, I would not join in there at any point in my life because one, something might go wrong. Someone might be
Yeah,
injured.
that's true.
Like, for example, I might accidentally punch someone full force. And two, I might break something. I don't want to pay for that. Like, I'm supposed to be getting money.
And you're the one who's paying. Well,
I'm supposed to be getting the one getting paid, not the one paying. Hell no. Oh,
Rest
here's
in
someone. I used to have a fear of mascots since I was a kid, but I don't fear them anymore. Oh, what about you guys? Have you guys ever had any fear of mascots? Like any mascot like before?
No, but I did have a fear of animatronics.
Ooh. So FNAF was not good for you, huh?
Wow.
Yeah. It was those are so creepy. How could you like those? Honestly.
To be fair, that's true. It's not even the fact that FNAF depicted these guys as scary beings. Dude, they actually look kind of oof.
Yeah, no.
They aren't cute.
They look rough.
Have you seen the Chuck E. Cheese mascot?
Yeah, that's specifically the Chuck E. Cheese ones are really, really, really scary.
Right.
Like the
Oh my God.
eyes.
Speaking of mascots, do you guys know the early 90s Mickey Mouse mascots? Those look horrifying.
The horribly scuffed ones?
Yeah.
No, I do not want to remember that anymore. Did you know some of those pictures that you can find like somewhere on Reddit or I don't know, Instagram or Discord, right? Where the whole picture is just very grayed out and it was just a picture of the very scuffed Mickey Mouse mascot, like very horribly stitched together, right? And it was somehow malformed and it was used for whatchamacallit, the Mandela catalog or whatever, the skin, what do you call it, skin eaters or skin crawlers, I don't know what those are anymore. Dude, those things kept me up at night, dude.
Oh, skinwalkers. You're talking
Yeah,
about
skinwalkers, those
Oh.
ones. And
Yeah, the ones that disguise themselves as a being.
yeah,
Yep.
no. Speaking of skinwalkers and Mandela catalog, by the way, what do you guys think of skinwalkers and the doppelgangers?
Skinwalkers, I'd say. I mean, it's kind of like similar. You know what's funny? You could argue that Skinwalkers is already pretty known in like Among Us, for example, because there's
True.
shape-shifting there.
True.
It's just a way of representing cute. It's a cute way of representing the Skinwalkers. It's Among Us for sure because in Among Us you're just these guys that look like
Yeah, they're in
I don't know how to
suits.
say it.
They're just in
They're,
suits.
they're in like tiny little suits that they're chibis and shit.
Exactly.
Amogus. But in an actual, when they are interpreted into an actual like more, how do I say this?
Realistic
More
fashion.
realism graphics.
Yeah.
Those shits are actually genuinely terrifying. Holy fuck. the one, like because you think about it like this, chap. Think about it like this, guys. Imagine you're in a scenario where, let's say, a girl here, you're having a talk with her, beautiful, right? She says you want to go on the alleyway for a secret meeting. So she say, okay, sure thing, no problem. Because you've been talking with her for a while now, anyways, for these past couple weeks. Next thing you know, once you're in the alleyway, that motherfucker transformed from a girl into a horrifying monster.
Oh yeah, no, dude, that will no.
That's too much.
No, dude. Like that brings me back to the old Tokyo Ghoul times. You remember the first time Kaneki met Rize?
I don't remember now.
Ah, damn it. That was basically Kaneki and Rize, like going on their first date. Basically, that is it. Cause good God, what about you, Blue? By the way, any thoughts on the Mandela catalog and Skinwalkers and doppelgangers?
If I were to ever see like a skinwalker in real life, I would definitely pass out.
Before you could even react to it.
No, I would 100% panic and pass out. I would not even try to fight it or anything. I'd just fall on the floor. As for doppelgangers, those I feel like are a bit more scary. I don't know, seeing somebody that looks exactly like you on the street, imagine.
Yeah.
No. Like especially like say you're like I don't know, on a crosswalk or something.
Yeah.
And you just see somebody right across from you staring directly at you and you get a good look at their face and they look exactly like you.
Oh
No.
no.
No. I could not. I'd pass out at that too. Mm-mm.
I don't know, but I would make friends with my doppelganger because I don't know. I'll just call out to them, you know, like, hey, fellow Maki, why don't you come over here for a moment? You know, let's grab a drink. You know, you want a drink? You want a drink? I'll use your money instead of mine. I'll use your money. You want to copy me? I suppose you have your own bank account, right? Hopefully it's better than mine. I'll use yours. But
Honestly, I never heard the reason, but I had heard that it's like dangerous to meet your doppelgangers. I don't know why, but I had read it somewhere. I really don't know.
But
I had seen it somewhere.
I think I remember like my mother telling that a while back, right? You know how old people. My mother and my grandmother are rather old now, and you know how old people have a lot of like ghost stories, right? And especially here in the Philippines, the elemental and spiritual aspects of life are very, very much known here. So I remember one time my grandmother told me her and my mother were going home after like a long day at work, and my mother was still in school back then, and their way home oh my god, words. The way home was they had to go through a very dark alleyway, right? And after that, they had to go through a cemetery, a very large cemetery. And holy shit, that cemetery had a lot of trees. I remember like actually going to that cemetery once. I don't remember the name, right? But I think it was in Manila somewhere, or in Quezon. And that cemetery is somewhere where you can get lost very quickly, because the I don't know how other cemeteries are made in other countries, but here in the Philippines, not every cemetery is people get buried in the ground. A lot of the times people are the coffins are put inside like these little catacombs, like shelves type things that are just sticking out in the open, right? So the whole cemetery would just be like an entire maze like thing. So they would have to go through that. Keep in mind, this is like what's the biggest cemetery that you guys know right now?
I wouldn't say I keep track of cemeteries.
Yeah, in our place it would be it's hard to say the location, but it's a place where the cemetery is definitely by ground for sure. Like people are actually gonna be buried underground. But like we have a nearby one, like it's just like probably an hour worth of walking, and there's probably not an hour, probably 2 hours, but like there would be a cemetery right there, and it's just a huge row, like how each square there's a huge ground of the graves of their respective graves. So there's like a huge amount of them, like a really big amount. So probably the biggest one we have here at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah. It's around in some hills, I believe.
I think I know which one you're talking about, though, considering your location. I think I know which one. But yeah, I think the cemetery that my mother and my grandmother had to go through was a lot bigger than that. And holy shit, was it a long trek back, because not only was it big, it was a goddamn maze. It was a labyrinth. So around the time, it was of course nighttime, because children have school at the daytime, and my grandmother had worked in the whatchamacallit, Tandang Sora, if you know where that is. It's basically like a marketplace, public marketplace. And so they are out in the day, and they go home at night, and they pretty much always go there. And almost every single time, right, there's always that one or two figure just standing out at the very end of either the alleyway, the alleyway, or at some random corner of the cemetery. Always, always. And we don't know why. It's always a pitch black figure that after some time, right, it'll just disappear and they'll just feel like a cold breeze brushing by. And that was always the time when they started
Ooh.
running. And good God, when they get
too.
home, right? I remember a lot of the time when stories, right? After after they get home, you know, they do their normal stuff, they eat, they they go to bed. But I remember my mother telling me a story once where like she was she was sleeping normally, right? And she woke up to a certain sound going on downstairs because the old house that they were in was also a two-story house, and it was rather open upstairs. Like there was not even a room, so there's not even a door leading up there. So anything that goes on downstairs, you will hear it. You will very much hear it. Anything getting knocked over, you will hear it. But she woke up in the middle of the night. I don't know what time specifically, but it was very, very much in the middle of the night. So she went down to check. And keep in mind, this was around when she was, let's say, 9 or 10 or 11 years old. I don't remember much. And she just sees, like, when she goes down by the door, right? So think of it. I'm gonna paint you guys a picture, right? Whatchamacallit. So imagine like a normal two-story house. A door at the very right side, a window at the left side of the door, and when you go in, there's just a straight like little thing. It's very open. After you go straight, to the right is the kitchen, to the left is the dining room, and just go further straight and you'll see the the stairs going up. So that's basically it. It's like a long-ish hall. So when she got down, she could very much clearly see the door, except that she couldn't. There were two people standing at the door. And she told me that it was very vivid, right? These two people looked like her mother and her father. Okay, my grandmother and my grandfather. But both of which were sleeping upstairs with my uncles and my aunt. So immediately, right? The voice that she heard was also theirs. And I don't know why she thought it was a good idea to just keep walking down and say hello. But after that, right, she closed her eyes, she walked towards them, and then they were gone. And I thought that was the creepiest story I've ever been told as a child. I don't know what the hell is going on in that place, but it was very much haunted and I don't know why. So that's my scary story.
Oh my
shit.
god.
A bit of a long one, but it's a nice one. It's a nice one. But going back, has fear ever stopped you from doing anything? Like, has any fear stopped you from
Yeah.
doing something?
100%.
No, care to tell, Blue?
Honestly, there's a lot of like, I'm a very scaredy cat. I hate everything. I'm scared of everything. So I would say honestly, a lot of experiences have stopped me from a lot of experiences I've not experienced because I've been too afraid. I would say one thing would be like in amusement parks, maybe. I'm very afraid of heights, so I've never really enjoyed going on roller coasters and stuff.
Yeah.
And I've never actually experienced going on a roller coaster. Which it looks fun, but I could not ever. I know I'd panic and throw up. No, even in this day and age, like I'm too scared of heights.
Yeah, dude, I remember the first time I went to a roller coaster, right?
Okay. Okay.
Oh.
Oh wow. Okay.
What
Damn.
happened?
Damn. Roller coaster, huh? That one I can answer. Actually.
Do answer.
So here's my take on it. Yeah, I'm a fucking coward on roller coasters. I legit did not rode a single one in my lifetime.
Oh no.
Yep. That's a fun fact. I actually genuinely, and I'm not even joking, did not ride a single roller coaster in my life.
Oh man, I gotta
Honestly,
take you to one.
Fuck. The thing is, the problem is, I noticed that I really suck. Not just the fact that it's could be fast or can fuck up your thingy or you're like go through a lot of stuff, so it can be like, oh my god, so scary.
Mhm.
No, the biggest problem I have is that after I'm done with roller coasters, I feel like I need to puke or I'm gonna be stunned for like fucking
Mm.
40 minutes or some shit. My
Mhm.
head just hurts
Yeah.
really bad because I remember on the Enchanted Kingdom. Yes, we went there because it's one of our field trips back in
Yeah.
high school, or was it I think junior high. I think it was around there. We went there. That was like our last like spot destination basically.
Mhm.
And I went to the you guys know in the Enchanted Kingdom there's the swinging ship.
Yeah. Yeah. Anchors away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the first thing we went.
Oh.
And that alone killed my brain. That shit. When I rode to that, I was in the freaking chair for like 30 whole ass minutes trying to think, oh my god, can I even make another one at this point?
Dude, I remember my first time going on there as well, though. Like, of course, it's also an Enchanted Kingdom. It's for those who don't know, Enchanted Kingdom is very big and well known like theme park in the Philippines, right? And there's this one swinging ship. I'm pretty sure pretty much all theme parks have this. It's just the massive swinging ship going back and forth, back and forth. So the first time I went on one, right? I was told that the best experience would be at the very edge, the very edge at the very end of the top one. It was not a good experience because apparently, right, I
Mhm.
went there and you know how there's supposed to be straps, right, to keep people safe and from going off the rails. Little Maki did not know that, and Little Maki forgot to buckle himself in.
Oh shit!
So when the thing started swinging, I started flying. I was just
What
holding
the-
onto the chair for dear life
What
until
the
everything
fuck?
could stop. And nobody noticed because I went on that ride alone. And I don't know why my other brother didn't, come with me. But I went on that ride alone and I was unstrapped. And let's just say it's the first time I experienced being Superman, that's for damn sure. Cause good guy. It
What
was-
the hell? Okay, so hold on. I just heard my chat real quick, and someone said, Detective Conan Chapter 1 beheading in roller coaster. That is a thing in that chapter. Holy fuck! Yeah.
Wait a minute. Yeah, continue though. Continue.
Me?
Yeah.
Nah, so there wasn't much I could say other than the fact that, realistically speaking, yeah, no, I generally could not get myself to think I should ride a roller coaster. Never. My mother kept saying like, yo, we should go. I kept saying, no, please, no. Have mercy. I literally couldn't do it. My gut, I legit couldn't do it. I get it would be so fun for a lot of people, but I feel like ever since I experienced just the anchor alone, I legit said like, fuck no, I can't do this shit. There's no way.
I do remember how I got into my first roller coaster. I've only been on a roller coaster twice in my entire life. Twice. My entire 3,000-year life. Twice. So the first time was also in Enchanted Kingdom. I believe. Was it Enchanted? I don't remember. It was either that or
Brother,
some other
I am
place that
pinned
don't
here.
remember. But oh Jelly, thank you for the sub. Anyway, the main reason why I even got on there, right? I was basically the same as you two. I hated roller coasters because I heard the screaming. I don't like screaming. Screaming means that something bad is happening, and I don't like screaming. So
Mm.
the main reason why I actually got on that is because my uncle started pushing me, right? While I was eating like some hot dogs and a burger because I was a very, very hungry kid. I was eating a hot dog and a burger at some random table, right? And my uncle, very, very nice as he is, not nice, he walked up to me. He told me like, Maki, why wouldn't you, come with me to the roller coaster? It'll be fun. And I told him, I told him because this was around the time when I was like 12 years old, give or take, right? I knew some words to tell him, and I just straight up told him, Uncle, are you high? Like, are you high? I know, never. But as a person who actually gives in to peer pressure, the only argument he had to make was, well, I guess you're not a man, so I guess I'm going there alone. You're not a man. You're only a child. You're a boy. You're not a man. So I'm a very competitive person, right? So I said, you know what? Fine. I just ate. You are high, and I'm going to the roller coaster because I am a man. And let me just tell you, by the end of that time, right, by the end of that roller coaster ride, right, to the left was supposed to be the exit, right?
Uh-huh.
When we were about to get off, instead of going left, I was going right. Where the border was and where the retry station is supposed to be. My left and right was gone. They were mixed up with my ups and downs.
What the fuck?
And by the end of that time, when I got back on the ground, everything I ate went back up and went somewhere that I don't even remember anymore. My first experience as a roller coaster person. But I somehow tried it again. Wasn't too bad. All in all, fun time. Fun time. Fun time. Just definitely try it. Totally. At some point. But alright, here's another one though. Here's one that's more related to this. What scary places can you think of right now, and why do you think they're scary?
What's a place that could be scary?
Yeah, what scary places can you think of right now, and why do you think they'd be scary? Or they are?
I know one.
Ooh,
Blushy, go first.
Okay, the ocean.
the ocean.
Yeah.
Fair
Isn't like 95% of the ocean not discovered? There's a bunch of like crazy creatures in there. Big
Really?
creatures, whales. I probably have megalophobia. And it's so scary, like especially when you go to there's a bunch of beaches here. So I will say there was this one time I was at the beach. I think this was like the last time I went to the beach because it scarred me so much. But I was at the beach and I love water. I love water so much. So the first thing I went to was the ocean.
Ah.
I was with my sister. But at some point my sister, she had left me to go with my mom, I guess.
Oh no.
But I was by myself in the water, and all of a sudden, this happened when I was maybe like 10. So I haven't gone to the beach in a long time. But all of a sudden I turned my back to try and go back to, land, and a wave, a big one, came from behind me and just took me in. And I was there for what felt like forever. I could not get up. I was like splashing around. But here's one thing. I got up. Literally, I felt like I was dying. I got up, I was panicking, and I look and I see my cousin staring straight at me. He didn't even try to help me. He didn't he was just looking.
Damn, merciless, I see.
Yeah, that was like, I was
Long
so
live
betrayed.
the king. Long live the king water version.
Right.
God damn, what a very based answer though, because I remember the first time I actually went to the beach as well. This was a very scarring moment, right? Because as a person who belongs in a military family, we are trained for many things, from fighting all the way to surviving in the wilds and surviving alone and possibly surviving in war. But the one thing that I had not been taught was the way of being a Marine or a Navy SEAL. AKA, I was not taught how to swim as a child.
Uh-oh.
So, the first time I went to a beach, right? I don't know why my family thought that it was a good idea to go to a beach where the waves were very strong, very high, and it was a beach meant for surfing, not for swimming, right?
Oh gosh.
So, little Maki was just, tapping his feet down at the shoreline, barely getting his feet wet, barely getting his own self wet. And I was building a sandcastle, fun times. And little did I know that the tide was going up. The tide was slowly but surely going up around that time. And
high tide.
With the tide going up, so did the waves go up. But my back was turned against the ocean. So
Oh
I did
gosh.
not notice a massive wave coming straight towards me, barreling me down. The last thing I saw before what I think I passed out or blacked out in the middle of drowning was the massive shadow casting over me and my sandcastle, the little shitty sandcastle that I was building. Before I was just swept away by the waves. I don't know how long it took for someone to find me, but I was splashing about for what felt like an eternity until my elder brother swam back in, threw me back out of the ocean, and basically fed me sand because he thought I was very dumb for, playing in the shore with very, very strong waves. Listen, I was a child back then, okay? I was small and dumb. I was a weak child. Okay, don't leave me
Holy
alone,
shit.
older brother. Don't do this to me. How dare you?
Bro got cooked.
I was cooked by the ocean and my own family. God damn it. Two in the present one. What about you though, Dino? What's a scary place you can think of?
Well, now, while I myself, okay, so how do I explain this? This is the time when I'd say we went to Bicol.
Yeah,
I'm sure you know that, where Mount Mayon is.
yeah.
Yeah, so there was like a really cool thing there where you can rent those. I forgot what it's called. What's that vehicle called again? Where
What?
you will be able to adventure from the foot of Mount Mayon by transporting yourself using that vehicle.
A horse?
No, not horse. Brother, not a horse. I forgot what it's called, but it's a 4-wheeler one that can be controlled pretty easily even if you're a beginner.
An ATV?
Golf cart.
Golf cart?
Not a gold cart exactly.
A quadsicle?
Shit, bro. Guys, do you guys remember what it's called? Because I don't remember. Basically, there was a service there you could go, and we did because it was a part of our experience for being there for only 3 days. And we went up to the mountain and go all the way to the foot of Mount Mayon. That was cool as fuck, by the way.
Mhm.
Seeing how tall that shit was crazy. We were just on the foot, and yet we were pretty much in a tip top for most hills and mountains.
Yeah, dude, that thing is
So-
majestic.
And one of the most beautiful volcanoes. Absolutely, no, without question. But we were there during during basically right afternoon, right?
Mhm.
So we were there by the time that it was like 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. It was beautiful because the sun was starting to set,
Mhm.
and it looked absolutely gorgeous. So that was the cool fucking part. The scary part is when I realized that when it's actually about to be night.
Oh,
Now,
no.
what's the reason why? Well, we were going home, or by when I say go home, we were backtracking now
Mhm.
with the vehicle since we reached the part where we were supposed to be. So we're now coming back to where we were supposed to be, right? We're going back. We're going downhill, and dude, when the sun was disappearing, shit, the dark, bro. It's insane. There's because remember we have light posts here, right, in our city, in urban,
Yeah.
or anywhere we live in this place. But in there, brother, there's no lights. So the moment it becomes dark, it's pitch fucking black.
You're cooked.
Yeah. So
God.
and when we were going down, there were still people actually going up. So by the time they go up, it was gonna be dark. It was gonna be nighttime for them. And my mother was saying like, yo, you know how scary that is to actually transfer yourself from like a mountain
Yeah.
to mountain while being that dark, because you never know if you managed to go to the wrong direction only to realize it was a fucking cliff. So
no.
yeah. So there's that. And I realized, wow, okay, yeah. Being in a mountain forest is scary at night. Okay, yeah, that shit's scary. Yeah. That's what I concluded.
I mean, true enough, man. At any point, you could go the wrong way, right? And you could be lost for ages until a search party comes in somehow.
Pretty
Man,
much.
just find you.
Yeah. You ever wonder why there's always an incident in like places where there's people can live, but like there is so many mountains and forests, and and suddenly you're gonna see there's gonna be a report of a missing person or some shit.
Yeah, dude, that is horrifying. I would never want to be in there. That's why I don't really go hiking, right? I was invited once, right, to go camping, and I of course agreed because my friends. It's only a few times that I actually go camping. We were going up the foot of I don't remember which mountain. Yeah, I don't remember which mountain, but we were only going up like barely even midway the mountain. And around that time, I was horrible with whatchamacallit. I was horrible with directions. I was basically Zoro in real life, except without the swords, right? And by the time night came around, right, I had to go. I had to go for a piss. The usual human stuff, right? And I forgot where the camp was. I didn't remember where the camp was because the campfire was already gone, and we had no light set up. I only had a flashlight. My phone flashlight. That's all I had to, somehow navigate myself back. Only after I screamed for like, 10 minutes, it's one of my friends somehow managed to find me and bring me back to the camp, and that's where, I just slept happily and we got back home.
Holy.
Still, that was the most terrifying moment of my life because I don't want to get lost. I don't want to be alone in the forest. I don't know what kind
Right.
of monsters they could be. Speaking of, what do you guys think about like camping in general? Like
Camping,
anywhere.
I barely camped in life, so I have next to no
Never.
experiences. So blush.
Yeah, I've never camped, but I don't think I would ever do that. Especially not like I could do like maybe a cabin type of camping
Yeah.
or like a trailer, but I could not do like the tents and making a fire and all that stuff that I've been seeing other people do.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's not my that's not my cup of tea. Um it just seems like too much. Especially like I be seeing they go to the bathroom in like the trees and stuff in the bushes and whatnot.
Yeah.
I cannot do that.
Fair
It
enough.
seems like too scary for me.
You just feel something crawling up your toes, slowly but
Right.
surely.
Mosquitoes, the bugs, ew, no.
Or something lands on your head like a spider.
Exactly.
Ah.
Spider, a snake, anything. Wait, Renzi is afraid of ringtones when he was younger. What?
Huh. What an interesting thing
Well.
of being afraid.
That's an interesting one.
Maybe because it's like a random loud noise that plays. I guess.
Fair enough, I guess. But anyway, here's a question about, our profession, pretty much. Streaming, basically. Did you
Ah.
or do you have any fears before or during your time as a streamer?
Okay. I think this is the biggest worry I have, and that is to unsatisfy. This one's an obvious one, and that is to if I were to unsatisfy my viewers or I failed them.
Mm.
That is the biggest thing in my life, even to this day. Like people watching right now, guys. I know you guys are. I know not everyone's watching right now, but for the people who are watching right now, I'm sure you guys know this. That when you're a viewer, you want to see cool shit or funny shit, entertainment. That's the reason why you're here.
Exactly,
As a
exactly.
viewer. And if that content creator fails to do that, you know what you do? You go to the next.
Exactly.
And that's something I had in my mind every time that I don't want to disappoint my viewers. That's what's always in my mind. um, so I always try, at the very least, my utter best on, or at least what I could possibly do on each stream. Or when I'm trying to make a video, I usually give like a hey, a heads up. Maybe this is a video I'll be making. Maybe a suggestion or two. Or when I am making a video that's actually it's either important or maybe something that would be peak for some people that I would watch.
Mhm.
And and I think to myself that oh my, this feels missing. This like this is the time when I'm editing it now, and I was like, there's something missing. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm gonna add a bit more. It's always in my mind because they might be bored about it 10 seconds later, or if I don't add something there, it might it might be something that they will be blamed out by, or maybe the opposite. Maybe it's too much for them, and I can't wrap my head around that.
I feel you.
So basically, in a way, or basically in a nutshell, streaming or making content, I just can't see myself not worrying about my viewers.
Fair.
That's valid.
Very valid. What about you, Blue?
I would say before I started streaming, I'm a very, very introverted person. I still am.
Mhm.
So, I'm much more of a listener rather than a talker. And streaming seemed like a very impossible feat to do. I was very, very, very scared, but it seemed like something that would be fun. Like I wanted to make friends and do stuff like this, collab with others and have fun like this.
Yeah.
So I was very, very scared in the beginning. I would my heart would start beating before every stream for like the first month because I was so afraid of speaking. But I would say I was able to get over that, and I'm slowly starting to learn how to talk and communicate a little bit more. I'd say my communication skills have started to, build up a little bit. I really hope that they grow in the future and stuff. But yeah, I would say a fear would be starting stream in the beginning. Now I'm good, but yeah.
Gotcha, I gotcha. Yeah, all very valid points, don't get me wrong. But for me though, right? I honestly don't know what kind of fears I had before streaming. The main fear I had was not even related to streaming. It was mainly on my stories because I'm pretty sure you guys know how I make stories, and that's basically my whole the whole point of my channel.
Yeah.
So the first time, like before I actually started making content, not a lot of people notice about me, but I did not know whether or not I'd be good at writing, or if I'd even have fun with writing, or if this will even be, lasting a whole this long. It's been a whole almost 4 years or 5, I believe, and I did not expect. Right, I really didn't expect what the hell. I didn't expect any of this to happen, and I was just so like before I uploaded even my first story, the one I deleted. Whatchamacallit? I think it was about Undertale, I believe, and I was very nervous because I wasn't, how usual people start out, no one really knows you. You don't really have any support, And at that time, my mother didn't even know that I would, start this. And before I first started, before I actually uploaded the thing, I already had it made. And before I was at the, where you're gonna upload something on YouTube, there's a whole upload button, right? I just sat there staring at the upload button for a while, just debating whether or not is this worth it? Will this even go well? Is this gonna give me satisfaction? Is this gonna satisfy people? Like, so many fears were clouding my mind at that day, until at some point my mind just clicked, right? It just went to screw it, just upload it, see what happens. If it goes well, it goes well. If it flops, it flops. I can just try again and again and again, right? And I pretty much brought that mindset with me throughout the entire 5 years that I've been on YouTube, and the small couple weeks, I guess, that I've been on Twitch, I guess, and even now on streams. Like, obviously, for everyone here, you guys know what streaming is like. Sometimes you get a lot of views, sometimes you don't,
Yeah, no, that's the reality of it.
It's always up and down.
One thing I could say as a whole is that streaming is not something you're gonna expect to be highly of every time. You will see moments where your stream actually goes on fire, and then
Exactly.
you go into another stream, and then suddenly you're doing dog shit. But that's
Yeah.
just what it is. You're not gonna expect every stream to be good or average. Sometimes it's gonna have to be below average, or maybe only a few people are gonna vibe for a bit. It's inevitable.
Exactly.
But I always said to myself, I always think to myself that, hey, man, um, it's a hard thing to say this because people will suggest you to just be yourself, which in its way, it's true. Because if
Yeah.
you go too far into, let's say, I guess, let's say you want to be too professional or uh, too much on the leeway of try harding, then people might think that, is that even you anymore?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you want to have a balance, right? You still want to put effort, but you gotta make sure that it's still you.
Exactly. It's supposed to be a fun thing, a career.
Nah,
It can be a career. It's supposed to be fun though, and you're not supposed to
yeah,
lose
and
yourself in it.
that's the reason why it's a career that people want to take. It's because it's entertainment for both the viewers and yourself. That
Exactly.
should be
Mhm.
the spirit. It shouldn't be one-sided by any means.
Exactly. Plus, to those who who are in any one of our three chats, for those who are actually thinking about streaming at some point, you know, if you have the stuff, if you have the like the specs for it or the Wi-Fi for it, just click the go live button. Won't hurt. If
Yeah,
it flops, it
that's
flops. You can't really,
that's
you can't satisfy everyone at the right off the bat. You gotta build your own community. That's the fun part of it.
bro.
Mhm.
I remember when I first started streaming. That was literally it. I started streaming not even on YouTube. I actually started streaming on Facebook, guys. Freaking
Facebook.
face. Yes, I'm not even joking. Around 2019, I did my first ever live stream, and it was just a press live with my webcam and just the game, and that's it. That's all I did. And the only really thing that I did that was cool, that was nice as a beginner, is reading chat, but it required me to alta because at the time I didn't have a second monitor.
Yeah,
So it
same.
was rough, a bit rough, but it was there. I had fun with it, and people did as well, and it was like, oh my god, that's cool as fuck. And yeah, ever since then, I did not regret my choice of continuing this career of mine, or hobby. Could be a hobby or career, you may call it, but for me, it's practically a career at this point. And
Same
I have my
thing.
thanks.
I mean, what is a job if you're not having fun, right?
Oh,
It's called prison society.
yeah.
That's what it's
Oh,
called.
Ah, no wonder.
Thoughts on this, though, by the way, Blue? What are some of your thoughts on it? I'm interested.
I would say I agree. But at the same time, though, I feel like it's a good learning experience to start off randomly, pressing that go live button, like you said, and then just going up from there, learning how the algorithm works, learning what people like to see, but at the same time, not losing yourself and not losing what you yourself want to stream. Like, I know
Exactly.
for a fact, I don't want to, what's the word? I don't want to lean towards what other people want too
Mhm.
much because I don't want to lose, like, my own interests and the
Mhm.
stuff that I like. I don't want to
Yeah.
be
Why would you do streaming in the first place if it's not even in your
exactly,
interest?
Exactly.
exactly. I don't want to be somebody that I'm not. I'm a very chill person and I want to reflect that in my streams and, attract people who also like chill streams and stuff. I'm not a very loud person. And I feel like a lot of people do expect streamers to be loud and exciting and like
Yeah.
crazy and stuff, and that's awesome, but that's not how everybody is.
Exactly.
That's not how I am. So yeah.
I see ya. I see ya. And a very, very nice takes. Very, very nice takes. Let's see. In our line of work, oh my god.
See,
In our line of work,
see.
right? Making short streaming, working for who knows how many hours at this point. What are you afraid of? Like, are you afraid of the process or the result, or do you think you're afraid of something else? Like, apart from the fears that you've mentioned earlier, is there anything else like the process or the result of whatever you're making?
Results for sure for me.
Mm. Why so?
Once I'm done with everything else, and I feel like it's time, and then press that fucking upload button.
Mhm.
All right, for example, I think I expect there's a bit of expectations in me in these things because at the end of the day, I put a lot of effort into this
Yeah.
So if it flops, it feels bad, man.
Yeah.
It does. Like genuinely. I have videos. For example, I think a recent one actually, 3 weeks ago, 3.5 weeks ago, it made a really pretty highly edited video that was 10 minutes long.
Mhm.
About ZZZ, and YouTube didn't recommend it to fucking anyone.
Oh damn.
Yep.
Oh no. Holy shit.
And then you know what's fucking ridiculous? I made a shorts or shared a bit of shorts, so it's like a 30-second little video. None too biggie. It got 1,000 views.
Yeah, I've
You
had
get-
that experience so many times.
So like you get so I'm just in a loop where like, is high effort even worth it anymore?
Yeah, right? Because right now the algorithm supports a lot of like you know those little shorts where there's just an overlay of some
No,
random game.
this one. Okay, that one. Okay, that too is shit. But you know what's shittier?
What?
The fucking recent ones where AI voicing,
That too, yeah.
Oh.
AI narrations. Holy shit! It's plaguing this damn this damn industry. Holy fuck!
It is way too much, and it is so goddamn lazy. Holy shit.
It's basically made it gets 100,000 to 1 million views per one. I don't get it. I don't fucking understand.
Brain rot
it.
is consuming, as I swear.
It
Every
is.
single person.
I swear, it's like, bro, beams at the time were actually well made or were creative. What happened now?
I don't know, man. Humanity is going downhill, and we're going down with it. They're dragging us down. It's not even my choice.
Yeah, because here's the thing, guys. Okay, I remember when my when my first ever highly effort video came around, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which was the Monster Hunter video. I'm not sure if Maki remembers this. I think I feel like I suggested you this before. I feel like you don't remember. I'll probably show it to you.
It's familiar. It's familiar.
Yeah. In fact, I can share it on Discord. Hang on, give me a second, guys. It's here. Don't worry. It won't take too long.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Give me a minute. Yep, I found it. Should be right here. Yep, this is my first ever highly effort video. This
Yeah.
one. Because okay, so while I'm uploading this or sharing this, just a heads up. Back before this video came to live, most of my videos are less than 100 views most of the time. Like barely anything comes even 100, not even close.
Yeah.
Then I decided to do a highly efforted video one for the first time where I actually edit myself. I did my own edit. I messed around. And this took me like 2 to 3 weeks. This shit took me ages, man. And of constant editing.
Yeah.
And I uploaded it. And to my surprise, for the first time, I nearly reached 1,000 views.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
And also,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
I
the
remember
video.
This video.
Yeah.
I remember it.
Yeah.
This one's so
Yeah,
good.
I shared it. There we go. And you know, as a guy who played Monster Hunter as well, Maki, yeah, you would understand the funny
Yep.
shit here.
What about you, though, Blue? You're afraid of
I'd
the
say I
process,
agree
the
with-
result?
With Dino, yeah. I
The
would say
result?
working hard on something, on a video or whatever. I really do enjoy editing like shorts and stuff, but
Mhm.
sometimes it's like a little bit of a hassle to do it because I'm a very like newbie when it comes to editing anything.
Yeah.
So if I really do try hard and put like a bunch of hours of work into one short video, and then I upload it and it gets like 20 views, it's like, oh wow. But then if I go back to like just a random clip on Twitch, a 20-second clip, no editing done besides like the overlay and stuff, and I post that and it gets hundreds of views, it's like, oh, okay. It's weird. I don't know. It's weird how the algorithm works and what the algorithm likes. But yeah, I would say results. That's something that's like really kind of scary.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. My fear actually differs from you guys for some reason. I am more afraid of the process than the result, because to me, right, I am a very laid back person, right? If I work hard on something and it's done, there, it's done. If it's good, it's not, I don't care, because it happens. It's already done. But the process is what I'm afraid of, because I am a person who, like, if I'm very much focused, I will work for more than 12 hours on something non-stop if I really wanna. Like, for example, my first story one shot, where I even edited a bunch of like whatchamacallit, sound effects to it, some other effects to it. It was a whole 7-hour long video, even at 3 times speed. It was a whole 7-hour long video, and I edited that for around 14 hours straight. Of course, I had my little break times, you know, and I was editing that for the whole 14 hours straight. And the main reason why I'm now afraid of the process, specifically more on the editing and pretty much making anything right now, is because what happened with that that little video and that edit was that it got corrupted. Right as it was generating.
Fuck.
14 straight hours gone in an instant, and I couldn't get it back. Worst part is,
crashed out so hard.
yeah,
Oh
dude.
my god.
Worst part is, even the story video was corrupted, so I had to make the story a whole all over again. And dude,
Oh,
that was an
no.
extra 6 hours long. And oh my
that
god,
hurts.
that hurts so much, right? But ever since
good.
then, I've been very, very paranoid whenever I'm making something. I make sure I have backups for my backups. When I start editing, I have backups for the editing, and even a backup software, just in case the current one fails. And I'm ready to, what do you call that? Relog the software back to like a previous version if I need to. And that is how paranoid I am of any kind of process now, because I am not very trusting of processes. Like, very honestly, I'm not very trusting of processes, because I like to predict what's happening, and majority of the time, for some reason, I'm correct. Like, for example, one time where my friend was whatchamacallit, he has a crush on someone, like a long time ago. A friend of mine has a crush on someone, and I predicted that it was not gonna go well, because one, I knew the woman more than the friend did for some reason, and two, there was a rather big age gap between the two. And it was very obvious that it was not gonna go well. Plus, their personalities didn't really match, like, at all. One was an introvert, one was an extrovert, and they were very knee-deep in both aspects of personality. They were just opposites of each other, and it was not gonna work. So, at some point, friend confesses, gets rejected, goes back to me, tells him that he got rejected, and the rest is history. So I really do not trust anything, especially, you know, as I said, the process. Because, especially long process, because the longer something goes, the more things could go wrong, right? Because the more you work hard on something, the more, you know, the more effort you put in, and, you know, the longer it goes, the easier it is for someone to just reach their hand out for the end of what they're, you know, the goal, right? And sometimes, right, when you reach out too far, your eyes don't go left or right or up or down and manage to see the holes in what you're doing. And that scares me, because all that effort could be gone in an instant. You could fall so quickly, right? But that's also the beauty of like, getting a bit off topic here, that's also the beauty of like streaming and stuff, right? Because let's say a streamer has a goal, or a content creator has a goal, reach 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. A big goal, and you do a lot of stuff. You make a lot of videos, a lot of edits, you stream a lot, and you're getting real close. You're getting real close, right? But at some point, because you're so dedicated on that one thing. You're trying to reach your goal so quickly, and you are starting to reach your goal quickly. You're like on the first month you reach like 10k, and then second month you reach 30k. But at some point you're gonna lose sight of some other aspects of your life. Like for example, you're eventually gonna leave behind friends if you're, friends and family, if you're, streamlined only on that one set goal of reaching that 100,000 subscriber goal, right? And you're eventually gonna lose many things because you've been working a bit too hard. You've been putting way too much effort, and that's not to undermine people who put a lot of effort into content creation, but I've seen a lot of people who have, gone through their downfall because they're way too focused on one single thing that they forgot to check the bigger picture. That people were actually trying to reach out to that person, and that person just doesn't care because they are too focused on that one thing. And that scares me. I'm getting too focused or getting too locked in on one thing scares me for a long amount of time. It scares me because I don't want to lose anything in this journey. Y'all get what I mean?
I can see actually.
Bit of a tangent.
In fact, I can understand that actually. I myself actually, when I got into streaming a lot more and thinking like, oh my god, this is it. I could potentially turn this into a job, right?
Mhm.
And all right, so I try harder as much as I could, but something that I could not continue was hanging out with some of my friends that I used to hang out before. Now I no longer could.
Mhm.
And they were like wondering like, why weren't you giving a connection to us or talking to us for a while now?
Mhm.
And I thought to myself, fuck. I genuinely think I just realized that I haven't really talked to them in ages.
Right.
So at some point, yeah, I had to make amends because obviously I hadn't talked to them in ages, and we were friends who saw each other IRL before too. So yeah, no, I could see that. Like, you don't want to lose something important in your life for doing this. What you want to What is this? A sacrifice? No, don't do that.
It's a way
You
too
don't
big a
want.
sacrifice for content creation. Way too big.
Obviously, it's not like everything will be smooth sailing. There
Yeah.
is going to be negatives at some point, but
Mhm.
you don't want to lose something extremely important now, do you?
Exactly. Now, on to the bit of a next question, right?
Uh-huh.
What do you do when you're afraid, either in game or IRL?
What? What is? Wait. Come again? What question?
What do you do when you're afraid, in game or IRL?
What do you do when you're afraid?
Yes.
What the hell?
Like, what's your reaction? What's
Okay.
your coping mechanism?
I would say for in game, the only thing I can think of is Fortnite once again. Um, for in game, I would choke. I choke immediately. Like if I'm by myself, the rest of my teammates have died, I'll start choking. And I'll ruin it. Like we're all gonna die. Um, and I have no hope. I usually always choke. Like I don't think I've ever clutched for my teammates ever.
Oh no.
As for that's I gotta get better.
Rough.
Anyway, as for IRL, I would say I'm a very anxious person, so I think I would kind of calm myself down or focus on calming myself down, breathing exercises, counting, stuff that might help me not panic because that's
Yeah.
something I don't ever want to do, I
Yeah.
like to stay calm. Kind of maybe remove myself from the scary situation if possible, or just calm myself down. That's the best I can do, I think.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Very valid points. Valid points. What about you, Dana?
Okay, so for me, I definitely it's somewhat in IRL at least in real life. I could somewhat relate to Blush's moment.
Mhm.
So let me give you a story real quick. For example, I for just this is a fun fact actually. I was a former drummer.
Mhm.
Hmm. Yeah,
Ooh.
I used to
Nice.
drum quite a lot in fact. Back when so at some point my brother was thinking about like, hey, maybe you could try an instrument because my brother is had a band, created a band because they love instruments, and my brother is about like guitars and stuff,
No.
and he has his own band. Like this band is so old, by the way. Like they made a band since high school and they still are at it. Crazy, am I
Damn.
right? Most
Nice.
bands that are formed in their high school literally don't exist in the next year or two, but they
Yeah,
are still
no.
alive. So that's crazy to them. Shout out to my brother for that. That is insane dedication right there.
W bands.
When so during the era around junior high school, I think, or when I'm about to senior, I don't remember. It's been a while. Basically, like 5 years, 6 years ago. I think like 6 years ago. So I was pretty young at that time. Obviously, 6 years ago is quite a bit for me. I was still in my teen years,
Yeah.
and my brother realized that I like to listen to music quite a bit, and I thought to myself maybe I could try drumming.
Mhm.
So I tried, and well, to my surprise, I actually was doing well,
Alright.
apparently. Um, and my brother gave me an offer like, "Hey, do you want to go into like to like a studio with us? We're gonna have a studio this week." So I said, "Sure, why not?" Because the only way for me to practice, since I don't really have a drum,
Mhm.
is to do air drums. If you don't know air drums, it's a rare thing that you could do. It's one of the few instruments where you could actually imagine it in your brain.
Yeah.
So where you can actually play to where you think you're playing the drums. No, I'm not even joking, by the way, because you
That's
have
cool.
drumsticks, and then there's the drums. If you memorize the look of a drum and like all the parts that it has, then you
Yeah.
could literally imagine it to your brain that you're
Yeah, no,
doing
I
it.
do that with the violin actually.
I see. So that was something that I did, and then once I see the opportunity to try it out realistically, I did. So I went with my brother, got into the studio. I think for like about 2 hours, I'd say. Dude, um, that was a lot of fun. Actually, I actually had quite a bit of fun doing it, but it was so tiring. The next day, the moment we're done with studio, right, and the next day I wake up, my fucking arms would like to have a word with me. uh, oh god, oof. But okay, skipping around like the timeline of that, I eventually got to the point where my brother offered me to play with them on a contest. Yes, a contest.
Oh.
And
Ooh.
the reason behind it is because their drummer uh was absent or could not will not be able to join around. So they thought maybe I could be the replacement right now or the placeholder. So I said, sure, why not? I could give it a shot. Although I'm a bit nervous, but they kept saying, yeah, you're gonna be fine. Don't be worried. so we tried essentially. Wait, hold on. So weeks afterwards, because there was already a scheduled like contest for us, we went there, and I was nervous, dude. Genuinely, I was. And during the studio practice before we went into the actual like real shit, right?
Yeah.
I it was nice. I had no problems. I mastered what I can. Everything looked fine. They were pretty proud. I was proud of myself. It was good. It was good. I imagined the composition and then the cover. I did it just fine. Then by the time we went to the thing, I was nervous. I was shaking a bit. Even my stomach was hurting a bit because I was that nervous. And when we finally got to the concert, right? We were there. It was us next. First time we played, I actually fucked up the first 10 seconds,
Oh no.
and we had to retry, and the hype died down a bit because of that. I fucked up, and I like shit.
Oh
We
my
needed to
gosh.
restart. That's really awkward because typically giving another retry sucks, and I would like be like, huh? Why he had to retry? The hell was that for? Or like it
Oh
would be like,
no.
oh, the hype kind of toned down a bit. I was like, shit, fuck, I messed up, and that fortunately, that was the only time I fucked up. Everything else, I went smoothly. Thank God. After that,
Nice.
I locked in.
Broke locked out. Good shit. What about you, though,
Uh,
Blue?
Wait.
She already said it. She already said
Alright.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you? Then
Correct.
then it's on you now.
I'm so used to Dino going first. God.
How's that? How's the Donald been? It's been going all right. For the most part, really love how each individual, no matter how small the donation is, it's been going well. I'm really happy about it.
Dono is
Anyways,
good
back to
shit.
Maki.
I honestly don't have.
We're currently having a
those right
podcast,
now.
though.
I honestly don't have those right now because the main thing I do, right? If ever I'm afraid, like IRL, if I'm afraid, it's either usually because something's gonna attack, or I'm on a roller coaster, and I don't want that. That's usually what the main reasons for me being afraid IRL. So it's either I get physical or I run. There's no in between. But in game, I look for the nearest teammate, I throw them under the bus, and I go back home. That's what I do in game.
God.
Listen, we all gotta do what we can to survive, okay? We gotta do what we can to survive. Who knows, I could clutch up. Clutch up.
Oh yeah. So I did say IRL, but I haven't said in game. When it comes to in game, I haven't really got into a tournament before. But like, if I were to actually play, like, let's say with my friends, or we get into like a scrims, I at least did scrims. I never did tournaments, but I did scrims.
Mhm.
When it comes to scrims, it's the weirdest 50-50 I could fucking imagine to you. They're like, okay, on one end, I could be the first one to absolutely just die out of the blue. There's just nothing I could have done. I just die, or just fucked over because I like, let's say I walked over to an enemy by just 1 meter too close, and I died for it. Let's say it
Yeah.
like that. But on another end, I could clutch something like a 1v3
Ooh.
while in scrims.
Mans.
Oh. Win a one-on-one duel with no one bothering.
Bro, locked in.
Those moments I could do. I can. But like, sometimes there are those moments where I trip and I messed up and I die for it. And like,
I do every
it's-
time.
Can't clutch. Can't clutch. You need help?
Oh man, I wish Buns was here. This is so fun so far.
Let's see.
Sadly, it looks like Buns couldn't quite make it, or is she just
I think she
dead
fell
asleep right now? Rip. Rest in pepperonis.
Next question though. We're almost near
Okay.
the last question. We're almost there. What do you think you can learn, with or from fear, apart from just conquering it?
Apart from conquering it, huh?
Yeah, what do you think you can learn from it? I'm interested.
Shit.
Mm.
I'm so dumb when it comes to these questions. Oh god. Brain, please function with me. Shit.
What about you, Blue?
Yeah, maybe Blue
I
could go
would
first.
say learning how to stay calm in any situation. I feel like you can get that from learning how to stay calm from fears.
Ooh.
I feel like in an argument you can learn how to stay calm. In a scary situation you can learn how to stay calm. In an emotional one you can learn how to stay calm. I feel like that is a skill I'd love to have.
Mhm.
But yeah, I would say that.
Fair enough. For me though, while Dino's thinking, I've pretty much learned all I can, like, from IRL physical fear, because as I keep bringing up, I'm very, very army person. The way we dealt with fear was experiencing it firsthand, right? The person who trained me and my
Hold on. Before you further talk, I need to pee, BRB.
Gotcha,
you're on
gotcha.
that.
Okay.
The person who trained me and my family, I won't lie, Bro used to throw grenades at us. Bro used to throw grenades. Not live grenades, obviously, but we were, usually pretending that they were live grenades because we were very young, right? We were very young.
Okay.
So we don't know anything about, dumb grenades. So we always think that every single big green grape looking thing go boom boom. Okay. So we always either ran or kicked it away back to our trainer. So what we learned from that was, apart from staying calm under pretty much every situation, it's what you can do while you're in that state of fear. Because a funny thing, really, I found a study recently, right? Yes, it's supported by a study. The human brain, whenever experiencing fear, runs faster than normal, right? I don't know if it's because of adrenaline or something, another kind of hormone or chemical, but the human brain, when in dire fear, runs a lot faster, right? So that's what the trainer capitalized on me and my elder brother, because we were so young and we thought everything was out to hurt us. Almost every time our brains were always thinking fast, thinking of ways to escape or throw whatever grenade was lying on their feet back at the assailant. So that's the main thing. Yeah, it's fight or flight.
Yeah.
So that's what I learned from fear, basically. I think Dino's back though. Apart from, funny thing that I actually thought of this question, because apart from conquering it, there's not really a lot of answers to this question, because the main answer to this question is just, conquering it, having a resistance. But
Right.
what else could, someone gain from facing fears or whatever, from having fears to begin with? It's interesting. It's a very interesting concept. Very, very interesting
It really
concept.
is.
But while he's out right now, though, another question, right? Since we are both pretty much sort of new to streaming, right?
I'm back.
Oh, welcome back. Your answer.
My answer, bro. My brain can't think of much right now. I'll be real with you, because aside from conquering, what else can I learn? I guess I could say the only thing I could really say is I have adapted to it. Really, I know a way to handle the situation if it ever comes again. Such as this is a perfect example, the cockroach. Usually, I would be running my ass off with no question, right?
Yeah.
That's fear. Now, it's either I actually kill it now, because, for example, my mother's also afraid of cockroaches. I mean, brother, she had the trauma of cockroaches. Let's be real. That
Yeah,
experience
true.
was messed up. So whenever that happens, I go in and try to take on the cockroach myself. Or if I cannot reach it, because I'm not really the tallest person around, and the ceiling in our place can be pretty damn high.
Yeah.
So some cockroaches love to camp out and go to the top of the ceiling and then be untouchable. So I actually, that means I would back off and like, oh god, I gotta go, because he might beat my ass with the flying. But now I would call for help instead in that situation,
Fair enough.
because we have a neighbor that's like way taller than me, so there we go, that can help.
Calling for the neighbor to deal with a cockroach is insane.
Well, no, but we have a room. How do I say this? It's not like exactly a neighbor, but like we live in the same building.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, and we're very well known to each other and my family. So like, yeah, so like, hey, we need some help to be able to get this cockroach out of the way. It's too high for us. Because our only member that's actually tall, out of the 4 family members,
Mhm.
my father's the only one who's the tallest, who's capable of actually reaching the ceiling with a chair. On our end, no. We pray to Jesus that he comes down.
Just no. Fair enough.
So yeah, that's the only thing I can think of aside from conquering it. That I'm no longer a fear of it. I adapt to the situation.
I got a suggestion on how you can conquer cockroaches.
What?
Burn the whole village down.
Oh my god.
Destroy
this
all
again.
cockroaches. Listen,
Yeah.
they've lived for long enough. They've survived the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs. Okay, they've lived for long
And you
enough.
think a fire is not gonna is gonna make them die, bro?
I mean, once I boiled one alive. Not in a
Huh.
pot. I boiled water, right? I was hoping that the goddamn cockroach would stay there, and it did, right? I boiled water to its highest boiling point that I could, and then slowly but surely, I just poured it over the cockroach, and then just kept following, pouring and pouring until it's crispy now. It's crispy, and it's gone.
Damn, bro. Actual torture device for the poor cockroach.
No, hopefully it wasn't too much torture. I mean, majority of cockroaches have liquid inside, so yeah.
We did not need that fun fact, but hey, well.
Come on, isn't it fascinating, Dino? Isn't it fascinating?
Hell no. Hey, since we're talking about cockroaches, do you guys know that some of the biggest known cockroaches in the world can reach up to 5 inches in length?
Yes.
Disgusting.
Yeah, I'm not joking. You can search it up.
Yeah, no, horrible creatures there.
Ew.
What?
And but there
Mhm.
is one griping factor with cockroaches, at least, is that but 99% of their species are actually friendly, or they actually keep the world safe, or like clean. They're like the cleaners. The 1% is what we have.
The 1% bites.
They're like the
Wait, they
invasive
bite?
species.
Yeah, the ones in the Philippines they bite.
So but yeah, for context, for everyone here, most cockroaches actually don't give a fuck about you. Most.
Most.
They usually clean, they do their shit, and they're usually prey items for other predators. That's cool. The ones that aren't cool are the ones that live in your houses. Those ones are the assholes in sadness.
Yep. I remember.
Which unfortunately, yeah, they exist here.
I remember getting bitten once in the eye. That's how I got my first eye. And after that, I went to the cockroach and said, "Fuck off and die." That's it. I hate them. Okay, I hate them as much as Dino does, but goddamn. That's why I boiled the one that I encountered, actually. That's why I boiled them. Bro sucks.
Revenge.
Vengeance for my fallen eyelid. Okay. Next question, though, right? Next question.
All right, yep, go on.
Whatchamacallit? This one's a bit more related on streaming again, right? Before you started streaming, did you ever feel afraid of what could come out of the internet? Like what people would say to you right as you were streaming?
Wait.
What? Wait, come again. What was your question? Sorry. My brain lagged.
Before you
See-
started streaming, did you ever feel afraid of what would come out of the internet? Like what things you'd see?
100%.
Oh yeah. I honestly, yeah. Honestly, yes. I am quite questioned by what people can cook up on the internet. I will tell you what. Even as a guy who's a gacha player and has probably one of the more relatively crazier fandoms to date, but also kind of at the same time. I don't know how to describe it to you guys, but yeah, as a guy who went through that as well, the only thing I'm really afraid of is what I could accidentally show on stream.
True.
Because if I fucking make an L mistake and show something either gruesome, which is something that YouTube is a no-no to, of course, or something that's like segs, then oh shit, that would suck. Fortunately, I'm usually the type of person who does who usually double checks or triple checks even to see if the stream or even recordings is doing good.
Yeah.
So, thankfully, because of that, I never really had any incidents like that. I think the only time I ever had an incident of that happening was when I was goofing around. I scrolled down, didn't realize that I scrolled down into my rated 18 channels,
Oh no.
and I saw what's live streaming here. I hover over, and
Fun
shit.
stuff.
That was very oopsie mazy. Fortunately, you could still either cut it or make the stream private afterwards, and YouTube won't give a shit.
True.
Fortunately, that's the thing.
True.
That was the only mistake I did. Everything else for 5 years since then, or for 5 years, I only made like a mistake once or twice, probably once, because I don't remember
Nice.
anything else. I don't remember fucking leaking my IP address, leaking my whole last family name or some shit like that.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Sure, I could say some of my IRL names. Yeah, cool, but like the actual like other important info like phone numbers, passwords, because I do account reviews, so I have to go through login credentials. Yes,
Yeah.
I don't show those. I make sure that. I make sure of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much it.
What
about
about
you?
you, Blue?
Oh wait, Blue.
I would say, I mean, there's a bunch of weird sides of the internet, so you never know what you're gonna see,
Yeah.
like at all. There's always like trending stuff that's sometimes even like, I don't know, just like sick, like, I don't know, stuff going around of scary situations happening, traumatic situations happening, and stuff. And then there's also like weird stuff going on, like just weird trends. I don't know, like what's it called, creepypasta or whatever. That was
Yeah.
something that
Oh,
was circling
damn.
around.
That was a fun one,
That was
though.
weird. No, that was
Oh,
weird.
It was a fun era
Um,
of the internet. Fun.
As for exposing, I would say I did accidentally expose my first real name. I don't think anybody saw it because I clicked off of it very fast, or as fast as I could have. But it was like my Roblox username, and I was playing
Oh.
on my main account. So
Oh.
I accidentally like tried to change some settings, and you know how you like your username when you're playing Roblox is like the first one is all the way at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there, which is like, oh shoot, oh no.
Oh no.
But yeah,
That was the main
Mm,
time.
what's it?
Only time.
Rice Crackers told me this. Told his story. My hometown once flooded back in 2016, or was it 2017? And the first thing I see when I open my backyard door was an army of cockroaches floating on the
Oh.
flood water.
Oh.
Ew.
God.
Yeah, one hell of a day for swimming, isn't it?
That's a torture device that even even $10,000 would not agree with.
A good day to go skinny dipping.
Oh hell nah. Skull emoji for real.
Holy shit. But an army of cockroaches flow. Oh no. Dude, all the
Dear Lord.
bacteria in that water. No.
Why do we have the invasive species? For fuck's sakes, can we have the nice ones?
The ones that look like beetles, you know, the ones that don't bite your ass. No, we don't have those. Yeah, is it Philippines? Well, I think Australia has worse ones.
Oh, for
Yep.
sure.
Oh yeah, you're not wrong on that one actually. Average day in Australia, guys.
Poor Yumi. Poor Yumi.
Oh well, I'm sure she's adapted, and that's why she acts like that.
Fair enough. How about this? A fun, interesting question. A more mundane
Okay.
one. Do you have any big phobias? Like any like actual phobia things?
I have no phobias.
Seriously?
I have multiple phobias.
Oh, say.
sure.
Do
Like
share.
for.
So-
Oh wait, sorry. Are you gonna say something? I was gonna say one thing. You could argue maybe. Nah, I can't see myself being afraid of spiders because, that's like one of the
Really?
most. That's one of the most common ones, right? Arachnophobia.
Yeah.
But no. In fact, I'm actually into bugs. I've held a beetle before, on my home, because there was a wild ass beetle just fucking vibing on my sponge. I was like, what the fuck's going on here?
What's up,
So,
man?
so I grabbed the beetle and just let it out. Although it was, I'm not gonna lie, those fucking feet were goddamn spiking my fingers, dude. Goddamn. So yeah, no. In terms of bugs, aside from like I said, the cockroach is like my biggest arch nemesis. Other bugs though, I don't fucking mind. I generally don't. Ants, I sure don't mind that. Assassin bugs. That's an actual bug, by the way. I'm not
What?
even joking.
Wait, I wanna see this.
And, yeah, we can search up
Wait.
assassin bugs.
Assassin bugs. What? It's so
Yeah,
furry.
those are real. Those are real. So, and spiders, they're the least of my worries, really. If you consider them for a second. First up, spiders would never dare to try to bite your ass. There's only a very few exceptions to that rule. Very, very few. And that's because they would rather run away, right? They would rather run away and rather than trying to fight back. The
Yeah.
last thing they would ever do is trying to fight back. They would always run away to you, from you. And another good thing about spiders is, well, they kill invasive species like
True.
cockroaches,
True.
flies, mosquitoes.
Love how the first mention was cockroaches.
Fuck them. They deserve all the pain.
True.
So there's that. And here's my last take before Blushy herself takes away from her phobias. One of my bucket lists is actually owning an emperor scorpion. I'm sure Maki has heard about this.
You're alone in that part, man. You got it. You got this.
Blushy, if you're curious, man, you can search it up.
Okay.
Or I could show you a good image.
Oh, okay. So
I could-
I'm scared.
All right. Come on, don't be afraid. It's just It's just a little bit,
I
little
see
bit of a
you're using
scorpion,
my
know?
tone now.
I'm not. I assure you, I am not. There, I showed it in the GC. Although Bunny will be very surprised to see that. We'll see. There it is.
Yeah, no.
Let's see. Ew.
That-
Ew, what the heck is that at the end?
That's-
Ew.
What end? The left one or the right one?
The end. The left.
The
It's-
left.
it's a claw.
Those are known as pedipalps. Those are the pinchers of that
Yeah.
scorpion.
Yeah.
Oh.
Big
like
scorpions like those guys have much bigger pedipalps. They're usually thin and slender, but these guys, they're beefy as fuck.
Oh,
For context, chat, this is the one I'm showing. I'm sure you guys would love to see it yourselves.
The Arnold Schwarzenegger of scorpions, I swear to God.
Hold on. If I were to, yep, there it is. I just turned off the BG for a bit,
Good
and
God.
yep, there it is. That's our boy.
Never let that anywhere near me. I will boil that alive.
Right.
I don't want to
mean-
get killed.
It's cute.
Shoot my ass.
You called it a land lobster. That laughed me for a bit.
Listen. Listen.
It does look kind of like a land lobster, to be fair. It's girthy enough to be one.
True enough. But I'm not eating any kind of lobster that looks like that. No, sir.
They can grow up to 9 inches, by the way.
Even worse. Even worse. God.
But hang on, hear me out. They are beginner friendly pets.
Bullshit.
For exotic pets, okay. For normal pets, no. For exotic pets, it's beginner friendly. They are friendly to humans. They're gentle giants, essentially, and the last thing they would ever do is try to sting you. And even if they sting you, at worst it will sting like a bee. That's it. See,
I
Never
don't
been
trust
stung
you.
by a bee.
I have
same.
twice. Because one time when I was, of course, visiting a cemetery, right? There was a couple bees, wandering around, and you know how hot it is in the Philippines. Sometimes you just, what do you do? Like, what do you call it when you flap your shirt to get some air in, right? So, I was doing that, and only later did I notice that the couple of bees wandered into my shirt while I was doing that.
Oh shit,
And
that's bad.
yeah, no, it wasn't fun. I got stung like, well, only around 5 times because there were only 5 marks, but still,
That's still bad. That's still...
shit hurt like hell. I was running around, even fell once. I don't like it.
You fell?
Oh my god, I don't know why bugs hate me, okay? I don't know why bugs hate me. Come on, Blue, it's your turn now.
Alright, your phobia's right.
Okay. Right. So I definitely have a fear of spiders.
Arachnophobia.
Except for daddy long legs. Those are not bad, I guess.
What are those?
Daddy long legs, the skinny ones.
Hold
Those
on.
ones
Oh!
eat bugs.
Oh! I know what she's talking about. It's those.
Oh!
It's like they have a tiny body,
Yeah.
and like they have like these, but they have these long, thin legs.
Oh, I
So
see
Yes.
it
that's
now.
their, like, or,
Those
yeah.
don't bite. But
Oh.
what else? Megalophobia for sure, especially of like whales. I'm afraid of clowns, heights. I have trypophobia for sure.
Oh no.
I hate. Oh my god, trypophobia. That gets me really bad. Like it makes my whole body like my skin it crawls. What else? Fear of dust.
Yeah.
I think that might be it. It's a lot.
Are you sure?
I think so. There's probably a bunch more, but I can't think of it off the top of my head.
The only thing I have right now in terms of phobias is acrophobia, fear of heights. That's it. And that started very recently. Like only like a year ago or like a couple years ago. Because, surprise, surprise, it's also an Enchanted Kingdom, right? Y'all know the drop tower?
Dropped. Oh,
Tower
you
of
mean
Fear?
when you ride it and then you like go
Slowly go up
way
and then
up?
just drop down.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I know.
Yeah, dude. The reason why I have acrophobia right now, which is fear of heights, is because of that. Because yeah, you know how dumb I can be, whether it be streaming or IRL. So the person who told us to sit down, put the thing in, put the straps on. Okay, big emphasis on the straps. Guess what I did? Guess which one I failed to do as I went up?
What?
The straps.
Oh my
Oh
god.
gosh.
Another straps incident.
So I
Oh,
was slowly
man.
going up and up with the increasing fear of me not having proper protection on, from me just flying off and crashing down and becoming a puddle of red. I was holding onto the chair like a vice on a car. That was how hard I was holding on that thing because I do not want to fall, right? I have many things planned for the future and I do not want to be ruined now. And yeah, that's how it... There should be a fear of straps. Is there a fear of straps? Fear of straps phobia.
I guess that could be the closest thing I can imagine myself being afraid of. Maybe heights if it's way too high, but then again, that was when I was a kid. I'm not sure nowadays. I rarely get to too many higher stuffs. I live in an apartment building that has a balcony that's pretty high, so
Fair enough.
I guess there's one to that. I just got used to it, I guess, at some point. I definitely did have a fear for quite a bit for those things though.
Okay.
But that's about it. I have no other fears from what I can understand, at least from my experience.
Based fears though, very based. Now that we're getting close to the final question, let's ask the second to last.
Okay.
What do you do to get through or overcome the fears you have?
What is something that I use to overcome my fears?
Blue.
Okay, so it's generally the same, and I have generally the same answer as what I mentioned before. Is to adapt.
Fair enough.
Adapting is actually quite nice because once I get used to what I could be able to do, instead of standing still, being ooh, ooh, and try to think of something and yeah, adapt and have a solution. That's pretty much all I can think of in my brain when something like that is happening. Even in games too, when I'm afraid, like, oh shit, I gotta do something, bro. And the next thing, and that the guys adapted to being able to hide in a specific spot where the enemy is unable to be fuck me up or seen.
There.
Yeah.
Bro has the Mahoraga core. Nice, nice.
I wish I was as good as Maharaga, bro. I need to adapt more. For real, for real.
True enough, true enough. What about you, Blue?
I think I'm gonna say same as one of my answers for a different question. Breathing exercises and calming myself down. I feel like that's something I tend to do when I'm afraid, or distracting myself. Definitely. What else? I think that's
Ooh,
it.
it's actually a good
Yeah,
idea.
like-
Distracting yourself.
Yeah,
That's a
kind
great
of
idea.
remove yourself from that scary situation, or like distract yourself from it. I feel like that's a pretty smart thing to do, especially if you don't want to, like, I don't know, panic or what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, basically, you gotta calm yourself down.
Yeah.
Well, god dang. So basically the same as my answer. Run for your life. Throw everybody else under the bus.
We're the flight in fight or flight.
Exactly.
Hey, there's a reason why that exists, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Exactly.
It's either one or the other. One or the other. There's never an in between. Alright. For the final question, right? What's your biggest fear right now? And how and does it stop you from doing anything?
My biggest fear. Ah.
Can be anything at all. And does it stop you from doing anything?
I mean, honestly, as of the current state of my life, oh, it has to be losing audience.
Fair
That's
enough.
really a big part of my reasons.
Fair
It's a
enough.
good one.
Fair take, fair take. What about you, Blue?
I would say losing my bunny. That's all I can think of at this
Oh.
point. Losing my bunny.
Oh, actually, a good take that I saw is most things that we are afraid of are things that we simply just don't understand.
Mhm.
True, true.
Right. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. But
Yes.
no, Blue's bunny. It's one day. One day I'll get my hands on it. One day.
No.
Whoa,
One day.
hey yo.
One day.
If you heard crashing like 2 seconds ago, that was him. He's mad.
Why
Why?
is bro mad?
I don't know. He's just moving around his bowl. He's mad. He does that almost every stream.
Bro hungry? Or what's
I
the
don't
tension?
know. It's all full and everything.
Oh, goddamn.
Oh, I guess there's one more thing that I would fear the most. Is, well, losing a parent of mine.
True.
At some point, currently, I think my parents are almost to their 50s,
Mhm.
and I don't want to lose one of them, especially since I want to promise them to have a fun time whenever I manage to make enough.
Yeah.
To have a vibe, to have a fun time, because ever since that we're in the struggle fest in these past couple of years, we never really had too many opportunities to have fun, to
Yeah.
enjoy ourselves. A lot of the time, it's rare. One, like, you could say one of us can enjoy a time when we get invited, but one of us is still gonna be busy and like not have fun, so we can't. And same, etc. Same goes to the other side, and it's really sucks. And so,
Yeah.
if ever, I don't want to lose any of my parents by the time I reach my dream come true, right?
Yeah.
Once I like everything's good, everything's amazing, and then suddenly that happens where my parents go bye bye. Nah, bro, I can't, man. That shit's gonna kill me.
I feel
Holy.
you.
Yeah.
And I remember that clip or that fan art where there was this girl that finally said, "I finally reached it, mom. I finally became a doctor, made a lot of money, became successful to my job, and
Oh.
I'll see and I'll see you next year because the next panel is her on the gravestone.
Oh.
Gosh.
God damn. Holy. Well, all of those very valid takes. Very, very valid. Mine one is rather simple, I guess. Not a lot of people mention it for some reason. Mine is just being forgotten. You know?
Aw.
Yeah.
Hey man, before you say anything else, I'll tell you what right now. I will be gay for you just so you won't be forgotten.
Oh.
Yeah, just kidding, guys. Just kidding, just kidding.
Someone
by the way,
clip that. Clip it.
no
Clip
homo,
it.
no homo.
Clip it.
I'm very heterosexual, guys. I'm very straight.
Clip it, clip it.
Just sacrificing my dignity for a bit there. Just joke.
Yeah. Okay. I'll remember that. Yeah, I'll remember that. I'll remember that as a quote. Yeah, I gotcha. Anyway, yeah. To continue, like, my little fear, right? It's not like, being left out or something, like being forgotten on, someone forgetting to invite me on some kind of birthday. I don't care about that. It's just a birthday. It's something that happens again and again. But the kind of forgetfulness that I fear is, one, for myself, and two, for the other people that I actually know. Like, I fear that one day someone just forgets me, or I forget everyone else that I know, right? So I guess my fear isn't being forgotten, it's the very concept of forgetfulness itself, right? Because the moment you forget the entirety of something, you've lost that completely. Like, if you actually forget it, it's the same thing as losing it. Even if you still have it, it's the same thing as losing it. Because at some point, it'll, like, in a human's mental psychology, right? If you have something and you forget about it, eventually, at some point, it'll be lost and you'll never see it ever again, right? It's hard to find it if you don't know what you're trying to find, right? So yeah, that's my main. That's my main thing, right? Like, I'm not really afraid of death, the whole concept of death, or I'm still afraid of losing people, of course. But if you're constantly afraid of being, of dying, like, what's the point of living anyway? If you're just constantly afraid of dying, right?
Right.
It's inevitable. It's gonna happen at some point. If it happens, it
Live
happens.
your life to the fullest, as they say.
Exactly. So there's no use being afraid of something that you have no control over. What you do have control over is remembering every single person, every single bond, every single connection that you've made in the past, present, or future. That's something you can control. You can keep notes, you can keep mental notes, you can make pictures, you can take pictures, videos, stuff like that. You can save it somewhere, right? And the big thing on that is, what if, right? What if all that just goes away one day? What if? That is the big fear of mine. So, to the people watching right now, I ask, the people watching or listening, I ask a final lingering question to all of you watching or listening right now. Are you the type to stay on the ground, afraid of falling? Or are you the type to take the risk of jumping off with the chance of success clenched in your hands, working your body like wings to fly high into the stars and beyond? Or are you the type who's afraid to soar high in fear of finding no one there to fly by your side? Because I know my answer. A human's life story is like that of an ant, honestly. Navigating through tall grassy fields, some are terrified to go through that dark field, afraid of whatever events may transpire in it, Some stop, spending an eternity of time alone with their monsters, while some move forward, carving a path through the tall grass with the burning instinct that the only way is forward. That at some point, you'll reach the end of that field, meet up with the old squad and head out for some tea and coffee at the old Starbucks down the square. To some, they believe that the path they're walking is all their own. As if, there's no one who's walked their shoes in the past. Until they enter the sweet and cold embrace of death, floating above the field, realizing the path was monstrously minuscule in size. If there's only one path through that field, the same one that all lives, human or animal, have trudged through in the past and will ever after, just bumbling on blindly on the microscopic hyphen bridging the gap between the beginning and the end. When abolished to that sweet simplicity, fear cannot exist, and therefore, nothing can hold you back from your first, second, third, or nth step toward a place that you thought was once unreachable, but once in fact right in the palm of your hands all along. So for my final words, to the people watching right now, or to people listening, fear is a chain. It can be broken, conquered, discarded, but never forgotten. When all is said and done, everything else is child's play. And now, as the curtain falls and the tea runs dry, and the night grows old once again, I must thank our dear guests for taking the time out of their lives to join us on this episode of Tea Time. Thank you, Dino and Blushy, for, joining us. And thank you, dear listeners and watchers, for, watching and coming in for us this evening, even though it's rather late for everyone else, or it's a bit too early for some. I bid you all a good night, and may we convene again in the near future. I am Rinku Makino. Don't forget to check out our guest channels, Dino and Blue, and the missing person who is Kurabuns. The links to their channels are in the description. Once again, thank you for watching, and Squad Leader signing off. Bye, people. Bye.
Same here on our ends here. All right, peace out, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Peace.